We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.
We're at the NEC for round 4 of the British Drift Championships 2019. This year's championship is the tightest yet, with the last round seeing the third driver of the season take the top spot of the podium. Carl Ferrar made an impressive move from just 9 points in Driftland to first place in Teesside. With 3 rounds remaining and just 17 points separating the top 3 drivers, the championship is still anyone's to take. Who is ready to risk it all and be the highest roller at the NEC?
Welcome to the Birmingham NEC for round 4 of the British Drift Championship BDC 2019. Ian, I can't believe we are halfway through the season already.
Yeah, we certainly are at the halfway point of the season already, and I like to state that at this point of the championship, you know, is where drivers really need to make that move, and I think we see that with Carl Ferrar at the previous round. Unfortunately, at Teesside, I couldn't make it, and he made that move and moved forward, you know, and started to claim his stake. But Martin Cowley is really leading the championship at the moment. Like I say, at this point is where you need to cement the points. You need to make yourself dominant within the championship.
Yeah, you need to really scrape as many points this together as you can to really hold your place, because who knows what's going to happen in each round. Things can go wrong, as they do for many of the drivers, all of the drivers at some point or other, and you want those points in the bank now.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, you want to be collating as many points as you can and getting those top 8, top 4 finishes. And this season really, I mean, halfway point already. We're already here, the high roller at the Birmingham NEC, a custom-built drift track. Incredible. I'm ecstatic to be back here again. And look, not many more rounds left to go, so those points are very, very valuable.
So, earlier on, Matt, you know, he wanders around and talks to all sorts of different people.
A lot, yeah.
Shoves microphones in people's faces, basically. He's had a chat with our round 3 winner, Carl Farrar.
So, previous round, this was the man to beat in the Pro-Am class, even with car difficulties. Have you fixed them all now?
Well, we basically fixed everything, and the last thing we fixed it. It's like when you lose your keys in your house and it's the last place you look. So it's had new injectors, new coils, new plugs, head's been off, some rework, back together, and it was a small connector block worth about £20 that caused the fault. So yesterday, on the dyno, 10 o'clock, boost controller's still not working, so we're only running 1.2 bar, but be good enough for the weekend, and we're here, and that's the main thing, 3rd in the championship, so we've got to turn up, so yeah, that's where we are really. I've not driven the car since.
You didn't think to check that plug first?
No, it wasn't me really. I don't really do the fixing thing, I do the driving thing.
You don't get your hands dirty?
No, not at all.
It just gentlemen's gloves go on and just...
It isn't refined to have to work on your own vehicle really, that isn't something that we do, so people fix it and I drive it, so...
it's the better office to be in, to be fair.
Yeah, that's why we got it brought down today and we came down in the chauffeur car, so...
So you've got power now this weekend, so how are you feeling with that?
I mean, I've driven the car pretty much as it is power-wise all year, and I don't really think it's about that. I mean, there's people with 800 horsepower. They'll obviously be faster, they'll obviously have more grip, but I think it's being consistent and driving your car. It'd be nice to have more power, but we've probably got 400 wheel horsepower this weekend, and the car will probably do 6, so we'll get there with it. But it's a building progress, the only car RX-8 running really, so...
I love how you say only 400 brake, like it's no power at all.
Well, drifting's changed, hasn't it? You know, that would have been top class, Pro-Am, Pro, 500 horse 5 years ago. Now, anything under 500 horse, you're really wasting your time on semi-slicks because you need to run them at 10 psi, and we're running 40 psi for the semi-slicks. So we are at a disadvantage, but I'm just hoping consistency and just being able to drive the car a bit better because the steering finally works, that we'll do all right this weekend.
Well, that was it. The last round, no one could touch you because you was just consistent. You was on the line, exactly what the judges were looking for. Obviously, we've got the concrete track this weekend. How are you feeling?
Doesn't really bother me. I ran here 2 years ago in the car. I run Buxton. I used to do taxi rides for Groupon at Buxton for many years. You should be able to run a line. People hit cones, people hit the water barriers. They shouldn't be hitting anything. Yes, I hit the water barriers last time, but we only smashed the back lights and I rubbed a sticker off on the other car because I didn't want to damage it. You should be able to drive a consistent line. The walls should be irrelevant. You shouldn't see them.
Robin's racing.
Yeah, drifting now is a case that you will damage your car. It's not like you go on a ride, you will get wet, you will get soaked, and people this weekend will get soaked. You know, I think that's going to be the weekend where a few people who've just drifted up from Drift Cup have got to this level. They lay the track out, so you've got to run a consistently fast line, but you can't stop. So I think that will be the weekend where people are surprised. They were 2 years ago, and there's a lot of newcomers in this round, so hopefully they'll all crash and I'll just drive around them. So that's...
Well, we're excited to see you out there. Go and burn some rubber.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, there you go, Sarah. And a good chat with our drivers. You know, it's not often we get behind the scenes and have a chat with our drivers. A very busy weekend, so those guys are either in the car or fixing the car or in drivers' briefings or milling around doing other stuff. So it's always good to speak to those guys. And Carl Farrar in that video mentioned the battle tree. And, you know, if you guys at home haven't seen it, that is what we always refer to, because that is our top 32 drivers. Each side of the bracket is 16 drivers, and those drivers all battle all the way down, as you can see now on your screen, all the way down to Heat 52, which is the final, the most important one of the day.
We've all been waiting for.
Exactly that. So as you can see, Sarah, talk us through it, some of these battles.
Right, so we've got Hayden versus Chopin, that's going to be an interesting one.
Well, yeah,
So he was going really strong this morning, but there was a few little slip-ups.
Yeah, first place qualifier, obviously battles
Yeah.
32nd place qualifier. So Damien Chopin, he qualified 32nd place, so he barely made it into the show. He now has to battle the guy who qualified first, the most consistent, fastest line
Yeah.
out there.
Interesting. That's why
Very
this is
interesting.
what makes this exciting for me, because you get the different levels of people and different qualifiers going head to head, and this is what makes drifting so exciting.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some really, really good battles. You can see Cowley taking on Pestrukas. That's not going to be an easy battle. Cowley, you know, leading the championship, he's going to have to work hard to get himself into that top 16. He's going to want to be in the final at the end of today. And challenging weather conditions and a very challenging top 32. We take a look at the other side of the bracket. You can see Marcus Clare, your guy from the, you know, your highlight reel. He's up there. He's taking on Jones. That's not going to be easy either. You know, it's going to be a difficult battle. Parnham makes his way in. He's going to be taking on Josh King. He looks wounded. Doesn't look like the normal Josh King that we've seen before.
He doesn't. See, we always comment on this. We always give our little predictions and things like that. But a lot can happen, and we're often wrong in our predictions.
Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not. Well, we can see there, Danny Maguire, he'll be taking on Charlie Hume, you know, a brand new driver in the British Drift Championship, taking on a man who's not scared to smash up his car, you know, just for fun. I'm not going to rattle on about these too long, because we're going to see all
We're
this
gonna
action
see it happen,
taking
yeah.
place. And Sarah, this place, indeed, it was not a drift track a couple of hours ago.
It absolutely was not. Let's take a look at the track map. So this was basically a car park. It was the perimeter road of the NEC. 12 hours, numerous members of staff and hard work and blood, sweat and tears, I think, probably.
Exactly
And
that.
it's now a drift track.
It certainly is, and as you can see, we've got our bird's eye virtual. So this is the twin battle virtual map that you're seeing now. So this is what the judges are going to be looking for two cars going round now after qualifying. You can see nice and close up onto that wall, all the way round to clipping point 8 and across the finish line. And well, to be the best, you've got to beat the best, Sarah. And we've got some of the best Pro-Am drivers in the UK are ready to do action.
Absolutely, we have indeed. There's some amazing drivers out there, and I can't wait. I'll say this every round, but I just can't wait to see it all happen.
Exactly that. Look, we've seen the evolution of the track. We've seen how we've turned a track into, a car park into a drift circuit. But what about the evolution of the car? You know, these cars aren't your normal road cars. These aren't something that you could just go and jump in the car park and bring out here and drift around the circuit. And I do believe our good friend Matt has been down and taken a look at some of the cars out in the paddock that have converted from a road car into a drift car.
You don't need a lot to go drifting. Hydraulic handbrake and a welded diff. But to compete, it's a totally different story. Need a lot more grip and a lot more power. They put turbos on these things, they put superchargers, there's even nitrous. Most of these cars are running an average of between 600 and 800 brake horsepower. Some, like this one, even 1,000 brake horsepower. These figures are crazy. These cars are set up like drag cars, but are going around a circuit sideways. Starting from the top of the engine, some of the things they might change be as simple as the temperature of the spark plugs. And then we go into the head, ported and polishing, a different cam, different injectors, like 1000cc injectors, like they're just pouring the fuel into the, like this is just ridiculous. Bigger air filters, massive turbos, superchargers. They're even changing the blocks, boring them out. It is absolutely crazy, some of the spec that they are going into with these cars. As we say again, cooling. For this power, we need to keep everything cool. Massive oil coolers, bigger intercoolers, rear rad setups. It's just amazing the power that they're putting down, and also the reliability that they're getting out of these cars, which is why, unfortunately, we do see some breakages over the weekend. These cars are being pushed to their absolute limits.
Well, there we go, Sarah, and that's the evolution of not only our track here at Birmingham, but the cars that we see on our paddock. And well, talking about cars, it looks like we are ready to kick off top 32 action here for Pro-Am competition at round 4 of the British Drift Championship. I'm excited. You're always excited to see some drifting. Always.
Especially when it gets down to the battles.
This is the business end of the deal, because this isn't, you know, we always say qualifying is the formality. We have to get through that. We have to whittle down 45 drivers into 32. This is now where it gets serious, because every single battle that we see come out, the guys that win the battles, they'll be progressing on top 16, grade 8, top 4, and then eventually the final, where we will see somebody stand on the top step of the podium. But to be there, well, you've got to be the best, you've got to drive the best you can. And on the line at the moment, you can see our first place qualifier driver pull to the line. It will be Philip Hayden to lead out Damien Chopin for the first battle of the weekend. And just, I just want to say again, once again, a huge thank you to everybody that has come out in attendance. Just look at the attendance. You guys, if you see yourselves on the big screen, give yourselves a wave and a round of applause, because you guys are doing great things for British drifting. Coming out and supporting these events, they give the drivers, the platform to perform. It makes them drive harder, and it makes me more excited to get up in this tower, jump around like I do, and have some fun. I'm getting the thumbs up from my start line marshal, Toby, who's looking at me eagerly to send the first car. He's ready to go. The judges are ready to go. But first, Toby, I need to ask that all-important question. Birmingham, are you ready to kick off your top 32? I think they are, Sarah. I think they're warming up. They're warming up. Toby, let's get this show on the road. And up first, as we said, Philip Hayden will lead out Damien Chopin for a spot in the top 16. Start line marshal Malks gets them underway, Sarah. And here we go. Prime competition is live. Look at this Chopin onto the back bumper already. Weather conditions unchanged. The rain still beating down. And Philip Hayden throwing that car on that perfect qualifying line. Now, Damien Chopin not doing a bad job. Not got bad proximity here for Chopin. He's just lost a little bit. Oh, but big understeer, and into the wall goes Philip Hayden. And in a turn of events, that quickly, Hayden takes himself out of the show. What happened there?
This is exactly what we said earlier on. So we could try and predict that Hayden would have got that because he got such a strong qualifying, and then look, it can all just change in a split second.
Look at that! Look, damage on the front of the car. Look, so we
don't want to look at it.
We do have 5-minute rules. Ladies and gentlemen, as he gets out of the car, give him a round of applause. This young guy, absolutely, look, happy, still smiling with our marshal down there, Jason Slade. Look, we're going to get Philip Hayden recovered off the circuit. We're going to give him we've got 5-minute rules here. Look, guys, they have a 5-minute rule. One 5-minute rule from the beginning of top 32 to the top 4. So they've only got one of those 5-minute rules. They use that one 5-minute rule, they lose a championship point. They only get another 5-minute rule when they enter the top 4. Right. That's the rule. So he now, once he gets it back into his paddock and his team touch hands on that car, the clock starts 5
ticking,
minutes. So Damien Chopin done exactly what he has to do, abided by the rules, finished off the run, and gone back to the start line to put out his lead run. Chopin now sits on the line. Obviously, Chopin will be reversed off the line because I'm going to say Hayden's going to call the 5-minute rule to try and get that car fixed. Hopefully, it's just cosmetic. Hopefully, it's just the wing into the wheel, the bumper onto the wheel. They're going to get that car pulled out and then back on the line. And look, for me though, I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say that's a 10-0 advantage to Damien Chopin.
Yes, I mean, it's going to have to be, isn't it?
Well, look, he's drove off the circuit. So give him a round of applause.
He's still driving, which is excellent.
Past,
so hopefully, he can just give it a quick check over. And he hopefully will get straight back out after his 5 minutes.
So we're just going to see if he does pull off a circuit. Yeah, he certainly does. Indeed, he is going to take that car back to the paddock, and an automatic 5-minute rule will be called for Philip Hayden. So he will reverse. Or is Philip Hayden going to do what I think he's going to do?
He's going to go full send, isn't he?
I think he's going to go back. I think he's going to go back to the start line. I'm not sure if he is or if he isn't. Is he confident? Is it not enough damage to, I mean, look, you've got to look at it like this. If the front wheel binds on the wing and it affects the steering, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Philip Hayden has gone straight back to the start line. Our start line marshal Malks is just going to take a quick look over it. Now he's going to assess the damage as well, because if he deems it unsafe to drive, he will give Hayden a 5-minute rule, and he'll say to him, look, you can't drive this car, you're going to have to go back to the paddock and fix it. Yeah. If our start line marshal Malks, if he says, well, you know what, the wheel's not hitting the arch, nothing's damaged, there's no leaks from the radiator,
just cosmetic,
there's no reason you can't get out there and do some damage. But right now, Hayden, I mean, he sits with a 10-0 deficit, and Chopin, he barely made it into the top 32. He now has been gifted maybe a wild card, a possibility to get inside the top 16.
Quite possibly, but it is all fair and level war, isn't it? That is how it goes.
This is it, and what a turn of events! What a turn of events!
I told you, we can't predict it.
You couldn't predict it. You could not predict it at all. So we're just going to have a word down there. You see our cameraman down on the start line trying to get, see if we can have a glimpse. I want to have a look at the damage.
I don't.
Yeah, I want to have a little look.
I really
see
like
how bad
that.
it is. Is it as bad as what we think it is, or is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's still not nice to look at, though, is it?
So we're just waiting.
I like those cars, so.
We're just waiting to get confirmation from our marshals to see if that's fixable and if we are ready to rock and roll. Don't forget, if you're here in attendance and you're bored of watching drifting, there's plenty of other activities going on. I'm getting the thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means? That means Philip Hayden's ready to go again. He's going to chase down Damien Chopin. It will be Damien Chopin to lead and Philip Hayden to give chase. Now, Hayden sits with a 10-0 disadvantage, a deficit. What can he do? He's in the worst place possible to try and overturn that. He's giving Chopin some room. This could go in an inactive chase. Chopin fires it in. He's very deep now. Chopin just about keeps 3 wheels on the circuit as Hayden now navigates his way around. Big angle from Hayden as he fires into outside zone 3. Chopin not doing a bad job. Oh, an understeer again from Philip Hayden. He almost makes the same mistake again as Chopin navigates through the middle of the circuit, looks for outer zone 6, comes absolutely flying into that outer zone. Mid-track though from Chopin, but what does it matter? Oh, and the wheels completely snapped, the steering completely snapped in front of us on Philip Hayden's car as Chopin takes it across the line.
Sarah, no words for that. I'm just
so that's how you kick off top 32.
That is absolutely how you kick off top 32. No prediction whatsoever could have ever got that. I mean, did he have a steering problem the first time? Is that what's caused that? Because that wasn't like his qualifying.
No, I'm just going to say, look, he probably didn't warm up the tyres enough. When you guys, we show you a shot of the start line, you see behind the guys doing burnouts and donuts and whatnot, they're getting heat in the tyres, not only the rear tyres, the front tyres. These cars run a massive amount of grip in the rear of the car to obviously go as fast as possible. The front tyres are just as vitally important to get warm as the rears. I don't think, personally, that Philip Hayden put enough heat in them front tyres. Maybe he didn't, maybe he didn't even try to attempt to warm the front tyres.
Yeah.
He come off the line. The initiation was fine. He got round into outer zone 3, and that's where the car understeered. Remember, that part of the track, it dips down, it falls away, it falls off camber, so that's where he's going to be carrying much speed. He understeered, the contact with the walls obviously made some form of damage, and that is it. He's tried to do another run, and whatever was damaged in the accident broke, and unfortunately, we make it unanimous. Damien Chopin, ladies and gentlemen, getting the win and advancing through to the top 16 in a complete change of what anyone could have predicted.
Absolutely, happens every time, but that is why I love this, because it's kind of any man's game, isn't it? It's just, you don't know what is going to happen, and it all comes down to those 2 runs. Doesn't matter what you've done this morning.
Exactly
now.
That. Exactly that. You don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't matter what you've done earlier. The fact of the matter is how. How it plays out, and we've seen this before. Top 32 drivers knock out first place qualifiers, but not in this dramatic fashion, and not the way that I thought it was going to go. And Hayden was doing such a good job. I mean, the qualifying runs were phenomenal.
They were. I mean, he absolutely topped it, didn't he? And brilliant. And I'm a bit sad to see the damage on that car. It's definitely one of my favourite models. So I'm a bit sad looking at it now.
Well, unfortunately, that's going to want a little bit of a rework now after this weekend before we head to Three Sisters in a few weeks' time. And you know what? I think Philip Hayden will go back, sit down, take a look at what happened, and learn from the mistakes he made.
Definitely. And if, like you say, if it is an issue to do with getting heat in the tyres, that is something that he can easily fix if that's what the situation is.
The air temperature alone has dropped in the last 20 minutes. It's got dramatically colder. Everyone's kind of put on a jacket, and they've not put on a BDC hoodie though, because they've sold out.
Really?
The merchandise this weekend is literally flying out. The high roller, apparently, I'm being told that if you want a high roller limited edition round 4 BDC t-shirt, you need to get down now before tomorrow happens, because tomorrow's sold out everywhere. Sold out. No grandstand tickets, they're gone. Standing tickets, biggest attendance we're going to have at a BDC event ever. So apparently the t-shirts are limited already, so if you want one, you need to get yourself down there, grab one of those. Hugh Savile's Toyota Corolla on the front, high roller.
It's my favourite t-shirt so far.
You've got a lot of favourites.
T-shirt wise, this one's my favourite. I like
so I think if you want to get one, you want to get down there and get one. I see lots of people in the rain buying the woolly hats as well. So if you want a woolly hat, a high roller t-shirt, get down to the merchandise tent, which is directly behind where me and Sarah are, up in the tent on top of the British Drift Championship van. Get down there, see Nicola and Becca. Those girls will sort you out with t-shirts. Those will sort you out with t-shirts and bobble hats, keep you warm, but no hoodies. Sold out, gone. I went down there to try and bag myself one earlier, gone.
Too slow.
Too slow.
Can I say?
Too slow indeed.
They are warm though. They're really nice. I've got mine on, just so you know.
Cool. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Just to make you jealous.
Just to make you jealous.
You should have been faster.
So don't forget, guys, if you are in attendance here and you're thinking, I've seen a lot of drifting today, maybe you want to do something else, don't forget we've got plenty going on. We've got a car show going on in North 1 car park at the end, to the left-hand side of the track here if you're looking at the circuit.
Yeah.
Pro Drift Academy up there, passenger rides, you can even go drive the car.
You can have
You're
a
not
drive
having to
yourself.
go. I spoke to Tom and he said, no, I've seen Sarah driving a road car, that Corsa thing. He said, no chance, mate. And I was like, don't blame me, that's not a problem.
You've seen me stunt driving, I think
Yeah, he's
that's what
seen
it
your
is.
stunt driving on TV and was like,
He's
no
like, nah,
way.
she ain't getting in this car.
So get yourself down there. The Pro Drift guys, very, very friendly. Yogi and the rest of the crew down there.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're putting on some passenger rides, and you can also drift a car
else,
show.
Where else can you do that?
Where else can you do that?
You can
Where
get
else
in
can you-
yourself and have
Not
a
only
go.
that,
Awesome.
next to drift, you can go drift a car. Then when you get out of the drift car, you just literally walk across the road, and then you can do some axe throwing.
Now that I want to have a go of.
Axe throwing.
It'd be better if I was in a bad mood though.
Maybe that's what Philip Hayden see. He went down. I see him getting lunch earlier at our food market. He was getting himself a hot chicken wrap, which are
Nice.
amazing. And maybe he see the axe throwing, and he thought, "Do you know what? I can't
Tell
be
you
bothered
what,
to drift
I'll
anymore.
I'll just bin this.
I'll bin this off. I'll go do axe throwing, and then after that, I'll go the other end of the track, where the show truck is, and I'll do some bull riding."
Bull ride. I'm not having a go at that. That's not my bag.
Well,
I'll go axe throwing.
I've booked
though.
you up. I've already paid. You're on after the final. Once the podium's done, you are the after show. So.
Oh great. That's what nobody needs to see.
So as you can see, we've got Philip Hayden removed off the track, and sorry for mine and Sarah's rambling, but hey ho, what can we do?
They're stuck here now,
we
they've got to
can't-
listen to us.
You've got to listen to us. You have to listen to us. So Philip Hayden is removed off the circuit. Damien Chopin advances through to the top 16, and the next battle of the day, you can hear warming up the tyres in the background, will be a big one. Will be Andy Frost to take on Louis Edwards. Is there any Andy Frost supporters around? Of course there is. Yeah, Jenny and I down there supporting her fella. There we go. There's the stats on the screen. 2JZ to take on M3 3.2. 700 horsepower will take on 340 horsepower. BMW versus BMW. Well, they couldn't be more worlds apart. An E92 M3 takes on E36. One guy that sits second in the championship. One guy who desperately wants to make his state in this brand new Fast Star car. The brand new drive for Andy Frost for the season. What can he do? He's in the lead position, Sarah.
We're about to find out. This is another exciting polar opposite battle.
It is a complete polar opposite battle. We get the thumbs up all round in the house, and we are ready to go. Malks gives him the thumbs up, and they are good to go. It's Andy Frost to lead out Louis Edwards for a spot in the top 16. Who is going to take it? Louis Edwards knows he can't mess around. A nice tentative entry there for Andy Frost. Throws it on big angle, drops a wheel over the edge of the circuit, just about avoids making contact with that cone. Not sure how the judges are going to deem that one as they get down into outer zone 3. This is where it all went wrong in the previous battle, not this time. Both guys navigate round. Frost not doing a bad job at the moment. He's going to sacrifice clipping point 5 though. Louis Edwards all over the back bumper of that E92. He knows he's got to gain that proximity. He's got to stay with Frost. We come into the final outer wall run. You can see Louis Edwards now trying desperately to claw onto the back of that car as they bring it across the line.
Andy Frost is really finding his feet in that 92 now, isn't he? Really getting comfortable with it. But how will he fare in the chase car?
So there we go. Yeah, sorry, just getting a little bit distracted. If more people, they're saying to me, I didn't know you was a gambling man. Do you fancy a bet? Jack Titch messaging me saying, could you do a shout out? Look, I will. I'll do you a shout out. It's not a problem because Marcus Clare's pulling it out of the bag this weekend. So a shout out to Garage 500. Garage 500 and their driver Marcus Clare. Yeah, Marcus Clare. Listen, I didn't know who he was 2 days ago. I tell you what,
I know
who
he
he
is
is now. Louis Edwards off the line though, being chased down by the man, the Iceman, Andy Frost right now. Big, wild initiation from Frost. Got left behind ever so slightly. He needs to try and claw this in. He needs to gain that proximity because right now Louis Edwards is absolutely flying. Louis Edwards gets nice and deep into that wall run. Look at Frost sacrificing that line. Louis Edwards on an absolutely unbelievable line right now. Driving away, you can see Frost sacrificing line to gain proximity. He needs to desperately do everything he can as they get door on door across the line.
Absolutely brilliant from both drivers there. The judges are obviously agreeing with a lot of that as well. They're firing their little buttons there with the perfect line, so they're obviously happy with what they're seeing too. That must be quite a difficult decision.
So there we go. Yeah, sorry, just getting a little bit distracted. If more people, they're saying to me, I didn't know you was a gambling man. Do you fancy a bet? Jack Titch messaging me saying, could you do a shout out? Look, I will. I'll do you a shout out. It's not a problem because Marcus Clare's pulling it out of the bag this weekend. So a shout out to Garage 500. Garage 500 and their driver Marcus Clare. Yeah, Marcus Clare. Listen, I didn't know who he was 2 days ago. I didn't know you was a gambling man. Do you fancy a bet? Jack Titch messaging me saying, could you do a shout out? Look, I will. I'll do you a shout out. It's not a problem because Marcus Clare's pulling it out of the bag this weekend. So a shout out to Garage 500. Garage 500 and their driver Marcus Clare. Yeah, Marcus Clare. Listen, I didn't know who he was 2 days Yes and no. Look, there's two ways you could look at it. You could look at it in the way that Andy Frost didn't have the same proximity Louis Edwards did. Louis Edwards' lead was very, very good. Probably had a better lead than Andy Frost. And I don't like saying that. I'm very good friends with all these drivers. But for me, Louis Edwards was a very strong contender. We don't have to make that decision,
No,
Sarah.
I'm glad.
That comes down to our judging panel this weekend of head judge Brad McQueen, followed up by Ben Manuel and Ryan Pothecary. Those guys are going to have to make that decision. And on your screen, you see Callum Craddy down there with the all-important flag. Who's taking it through to the top 16? And look at that, unanimous. Louis Edwards gets the win. Louis Edwards gets the win. Yeah, Louis Edwards taking the win there. And I do think we're going to just quickly throw to the judges, just trying to go get their... was that right? Was it proximity game?
Yeah, exactly right. So Louis Edwards' lead run was epic. Like, it was pretty much like up there in the top qualifying runs if we were doing qualifying. So there was no reason for Andy Frost to leave such a gap and not bring the fight. And then when Louis Edwards went in for chase, it was just, phenomenal, the fact that he stayed on his door, get great proximity. But also on Andy Frost's lead run, he also dropped 3 wheels off the track, which we were deeming as a zero in qualifying. Therefore, he got a 10-0 on his first run, and then it was a 8-2 to Louis in his chase position. Therefore, Louis takes the win.
Well, there we go, Sarah, and Louis getting the win, moving through, and Andy Frost, look, I said it. I said he was wide on that zone. Nevertheless, he's out of competition, but he did a good job. He did what he did at the end of the day. We move it along. Up next, Stephen Fitzgerald to take on Kirsty Widrington. Now, Widrington, scrappy, very, very scrappy. She'll admit it herself. David Lamb, her spotter, her boyfriend, will tell you exactly the same thing. Fitzgerald got it done in one. The Irish luck coming through. A rub of the green once again for them guys. Can Fitzgerald take down Widrington? Well, they're off the line. We're going to find out, Sarah.
We are.
Look at that nice initiation from Fitzgerald. Gets it on angle, but he's going to be very wide. Just dropping a wheel over the edge of the circuit, but good line into 2. Now he transitions into outer zone 3. Kirsty Widrington taking off the back bumper. She looking for the side of that Nissan S15. She needs to get proximity, but Fitzgerald falls way off that qualifying line and sacrifices it. Oh, Widrington gets herself stuck up on the transition and makes a complete hash of that one. Fitzgerald gets back onto the wall once more time, puts the hammer down, and both guys bring it across the line. So a scrappy chase there from Kirsty Widrington. Just got herself caught in a few places of the track. I think she tagged the wall maybe, or did she tag a cone?
I wasn't sure if it was a cone. I think it might have been a cone, because we've just got some of the first cones coming out of one.
You can't blame her for that. She would have been following Stephen Fitzgerald's lead, and he went very deep. He went very deep into that zone. So she would have followed him, caught the bumper on that cone, knocked it off. But for me, a big mistake for Fitzgerald, and Kirsty just getting herself caught up the inside on that transition before out of zone 6. That's going to mark her down. But look, it's her opportunity to lead now. Fitzgerald to give chase. They're on the line. They get the thumbs up all round. And I start like Marshall Welsh. You can't miss him down there in that high-vis jacket.
You certainly can't. I guess it's doing its job.
It certainly is doing its job right now as they come off the line. Widrington to lead. And look at Fitzgerald not messing around. He knows proximity is a killer at this track, and you have to be on the door. And look at this from Widrington. Very tidy job now from Kirsty Widrington. She does fall short though. And Fitzgerald makes a huge error in the middle of the circuit, completely transitions in the wrong place. But now Widrington's in the middle of the circuit. She's way off that qualifying line. Fitzgerald now gets himself caught up on the inside. And this not looking good for either driver at the moment. As they transition into the final outer zone, you can see Kirsty really working there, trying to get that car back on power, just messing up the chase from Fitzgerald.
That is going to make it very interesting, because that is not what we saw from Fitzgerald earlier on in qualifying. That last ditch attempt to get actually in the qualifiers top 32, that wasn't the same thing we've seen. So
no,
I know what my guess is here.
I think for me it all kind of went wrong for Kirsty. Her initiation was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Nice and wide. She did sacrifice outside zone 2 very early though, and she fell off of it. Then it put her on a very strange line going into outside zone 3. She was in the middle of the track then Fitzgerald, he's trying to gain proximity, he's trying to make a dive up onto the door. He does gain proximity, even though he's chasing Kirsty, who's way off that qualifying line. And then he starts to get himself in a sticky situation. He starts making mistakes of his own. And then when they get into that final outer zone, it all goes wrong. Who's going to take it through? Slide them left for Fitzgerald, right for Widdrington. And there we go. Stephen Fitzgerald, ladies and gentlemen, gets the win and advances through. Widdrington out. Judges, we throw it back to you. A very difficult one there to assess.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. We just wait for Castle track. We gave the advantage to Stephen due to Kirsty cutting him off on track and him not being able to continue the drift. So we gave that as advantage 6-5. The previous run, it was pretty even, scrappy from both drivers, and that was a 5-5. But the advantage went to Stephen and he went through.
So there we go, Stephen Fitzgerald getting the win and advances through into the top 16. We move it along on the line. Willie and Hannah to take on Justin Norcus. And this one could go either way. I said it earlier, I love Willie Hannah. He's such a nice guy. I always talk to him when he's in the paddock, but he is an unknown entity. And so is Justinus Norcus. We've not really seen him come alive yet in the BDC. He's fresh from Drift Cup. He's made his way up and he's earned that licence, and fair play to him. I've seen that guy's Facebook. He's in his workshop at 5 in the morning working on that race car.
He is fully committed, isn't
What
he?
way this one is going to go, who knows? But so far we've had fireworks off the line. It's Hannah to lead in Norcus right now, and Hannah already absolutely pinned, but he's very wide. He's punting the cones across the track. You can see Justin Norcus holding back there, trying not to make the same mistake as they now find their way into outer zone 3. You can see a little dab of the handbrake there from Willie Hannah, sets himself up on that qualifying line, but Norcus on the middle of the track, he's completely straight. Not sure what way this is going to go. Battles today in top 32 just not being easy for our judges, as both guys finally put foot to floor and take it across the line. So both guys make their way back to the start line, and that's not an easy one. That's not going to be an easy one for the judges to break down, Sarah.
It's absolutely not. I mean, both drivers made quite considerable errors, really, in the drive, but it could all change with the second run, so let's see how it pans out.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a tale of two. It's a tale of two sides. Is that right?
Tale of two halves.
Two halves.
Is that the? Yeah.
Can't remember. Brain's got a little bit dead in the last 10 minutes from all the action we've seen. Justin Norcus off the line to lead out Willie Hannah. Look at the initiation, but he's going to go wide. He's going to go too wide, and he is way off track. Oh, and Willie Hannah just defied all. He slowed that car down so quickly. Justin Norcus going to take that car back off the edge of the circuit, and Willie Hannah is going to get red flags, obviously. Cannot continue the run. And, well, look, you wanted a story? You wanted to take a go home and talk about? This is probably one of the wildest top 32s we have seen to date.
And we don't know what's going to happen, but we did say this is one to watch. This is not around to be missed.
Well, they call it the high roller, and everything's at stake this weekend. As you can see, Justin Norcus fires it in that car. No side bite whatsoever. You can see the car just absolutely slide clean off the circuit, and he knew. He knew at that point when he clipped that cone, it was game over.
Yes.
He knew he was 3 wheels off track, and he thought, or 4 wheels off track, sorry, and he thought, well, look, there's no point me continuing. I might as well shut the car down. But what he didn't realise was that Willie Hannah was just inches from the back of his car, and Hannah did a good job to stop that car perfectly. As you can see, the cone on the bonnet there, just to say thanks. So there we go, make it unanimous. Willie Hannah gets the win and advances through, and no need to go to the judges, Sarah. That one's
pretty simple. That one, yeah.
So our track staff down there just going to rebuild them cones, rebuild the track, put the cones back where they were. And we're moving on to the next one. Now this is a big one. We spoke about it earlier. Now current points leader, Martin Cowley sits on the line. Lead position. He's taking on Davidas Petruskas. Now Petruskas has nothing to lose.
He really doesn't.
He has nothing to lose.
So he's going full send.
So he is going to go absolutely full send. Yeah. Because, look, when you're battling the guy who's winning the championship, you can't go 50%. You can't go 20%. No. You have to give it everything you've got. You've got to take every tool out of the tool bag, lay them on the floor and say, this is the best one. I'm going to throw this at it because
He literally has just got to give it his all, and he
Exactly.
will. I know.
Oh, we know.
I know how
we
he
know
drives.
he will. Yeah, he's going to give it his all on the line. It will be Cowley to lead out Pastrukas for a spot in the top 16. And there we go. We get the hand up. These guys are ready to rock and roll. Cowley is super fast on these extreme racing tyres. Well, can he put the grip down? And look at this. We was right. Pastrukas knows he needs to be on the back bumper. Nice clean initiation from both guys as they both throw angle at it. Pastrukas very, very wide. Devedasso finds his way back on track, but look how fast Martin Cowley as he gets into that outer zone 3. Not on the perfect line, but now finds that outside line on the wall as Cowley puts the hammer down. Pastrukas though not far behind him, and now he starts to get lost. Now in the fast drag is where Cowley makes his kill. As they come into that outer zone, you can see Pastrukas holding back, not giving it his all as they take it across the line. Very good, and a first clean battle we've seen.
Yeah, well, that's quite a treat, really,
That's
isn't
the
it?
thing, that's the thing now.
It's the first one.
Two
we've
guys
had.
going round.
Absolutely, they both made it to the end. Nobody's spun
No contact. No one scored a 0
yet.
yet. Yeah, there's another.
There's plenty of time yet.
So first run done and dusted in the bag. They go back to the start line and we get ready to rock and roll. You can see Martin Cowley down there. Devedas just warming up the tyres on the back of those cars. And Cowley now sits in a dangerous place. He's in that chase position. This is where he can earn as many points as he can. He had a very, very good lead line. You know, it was probably one point where he fell off qualifying line ever so slightly, but apart from that, pretty good line. Devedas didn't do a bad job, just didn't have as much proximity throughout the circuit as what we'd like to have seen. But now Cowley knows he needs to be on the back bumper at the E46 BMW, and he certainly is as they fire in. An initiation before Devedas. Cowley initiates before Devedas. Extreme stuff there. He had a big error there from Devedas as he almost makes a big wobble going into outside zone 3. And look at Cowley hunting down the side of that E46 BMW, gives him a little bit of room to manoeuvre. As they now transition back, Cowley almost gets himself caught up for a perfect transition from Cowley as he then fires it back onto the door again. And Cowley pushes Devedas across the line, makes some noise, Birmingham.
Unbelievable. Cowley's hand out the window in celebration at the end as well. He knows he's done good there. That was such a strong chase.
Very, very strong chase. And look, you know, this is why Martin Cowley is leading the championship at the moment. Very, very good drive, super confident. Car control is just incredible. He deserves to be in the pro class, but you know what? He's holding back. He knows he can be in the pro classes if he wanted to, but he's holding back. He wants to take this Pro-Am championship. He wants to take that trophy at the end of this weekend. Scores drop in, slide them left for Cowley, right for Devedas. And there we go, unanimous. Martin Cowley gets the win. Judges, we're just going to quickly throw it to you. Finally, a nice clean battle.
Yeah, relatively clean there actually. It was the lead from Martin was a bit odd, but between 1 and 2 he actually let off power quite a lot, which didn't set Devedas up very well. I actually gave Devedas a slight advantage in his chase run, but Martin came out following a good lead from Devedas, but really stuck it to him, brought the fight, and you know, took the win home from that.
And there we go, so Martin Cowley getting the winner, moving it along. Will Gibbs now sits on the line. He will be taking on Matt Fountain, and Matt Fountain is driving a boat.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Yes.
HMS,
What was it?
HMS Fountain. Yeah, HMS Fountain.
Yeah. What is it? Toyota Sora, really, isn't it?
It's a Toyota Sora, yeah. He's off the line. He's taking on Will Gibbs. Will Gibbs looking confident earlier in practice. Can we get another clean battle? Oh, wow! What an initiation from Will Gibbs as he threw everything at that one. Absolutely flying. And Gibbs made it work. That was an insane initiation from the young gun as he now puts the hammer down once again. Puts big angle at it. Can he hold on to it? He certainly can, but he's opened the door for Matt Fountain. Matt Fountain nice and close up the inside. Almost contact. Shallow transition though from Gibbs to the centre of the circuit as he puts it back onto the wall one more time. Matt Fountain holding back as contact from the wall from Gibbs. What? Everything that we've talked about in briefing and all day, because we said the big snappy fast big to angles initiation slows you down, doesn't get you where you need to be, and Gibbs, he said, well, hold my beer because I'm going to pull it all out of the bag. They're back on the line and we can see our start line marshal just checking the back of that Toyota Sora just to make sure she's in good battle condition. The battleship.
Yeah, I get it.
Get it?
Yeah.
Good one, that slipped it in.
Yeah, it was quite good. Well done.
That's
Well
good.
done.
That's good. Thumbs up all round and we are ready to go. It'll be Fountain now to lead in Will Gibbs. Now Gibbs really just needs to bring that proximity game. He'll find himself inside that top 16. Matt Fountain, well, he's going to have to put on the lead line of a lifetime right now as he puts the foot down. And he's very wide, but he's on a very good line right now. There's Matt Fountain as he gets into outer zone 3 ball, but he's straightened massively, and it's caused a big understeer from Will Gibbs. As both guys get themselves back into it one more time. Matt Fountain now comes through the centre of the circuit. Gibbs a little bit of separation, but he's going to try and look for the side of that Toyota Sora one more time as they come across the finish line. Very good stuff from Matt Fountain and Will Gibbs.
Fantastic battle, but how are the good judges going to be able to call this? There's quite a few elements in both. It's not straightforward for me, but I'm not sat in the judges' seat. They might see a lot more than we do.
Oh yeah, exactly. They see stuff that we don't see,
Yeah.
and we spoke about this before. I don't know. For me, there was a big mistake from Matt Fountain going down into outer zone 3. The only people that know are the judges. We wait to get the decision in who is going to take it through to the top 16 to battle Martin Cowley. So whoever wins this will go through to the top 16 to battle Martin Cowley. Judges just deliberating this one. We are waiting to get the graphic up on screen. Everyone's a bit of anticipation in the air.
Oh, we're all waiting now.
Who knows what way this is going to go? Judges having a little chat about it. Was Matt Fountain at fault? Oh, here we go. Slide them left for Gibbs, right for Fountain. Brad, Ben and Ryan. Oh, Ryan says Fountain. Oh, it's unanimous. Matt Fountain gets the win and Will Gibbs gets knocked out of competition. Judges, we've got to go to you for this one. A split judging panel. Mistakes on both halves.
Yeah, so, I mean, it all came down realistically to Will's straighten between 3 and 4. That's what basically put Matt through. We had it fairly even. Other than that straighten, yeah, we had a decent lead from Will, really good entry, and Matt's chase was okay. He caught up himself, got himself a bit caught between 5 and 6, but other than that, he did bring some fight. Matt's lead was okay, not as good, but Will's chase was not as good as Matt's plus the straighten, so that gives it to Matt.
So there we go. And judges, have that hard judge, put him through. Moving on, Stu Egdahl now to take on Chris Wright. Top Gun. So Chris Wright sits on the line. He is in that chase position. Stu Egdahl to lead, and Stu Egdahl making his return to the BDC this weekend after taking some time out. He finds himself in a pretty good situation. 5th place in qualifying. Well, can he continue that? And can he maybe get himself a step on the podium? We're about to find out. Egdahl to lead, Chris Wright to give chase, and Chris Wright straight onto the back bumper of that S14. And Stu Egdahl very shallow. He's going to have to work his way out to outer zone 2, and he does. Chris Wright holds back ever so slightly as Egdahl gets nice and deep into outer zone 3. He's back on that good qualifying line. As he gets deep into 4, he finds the outside wall of the circuit. He's going to sacrifice a little bit of 5. And Chris Wright now starts to rein him in ever so slightly. He starts to look for the side of that S14 as they get into the final outer zone. Stu Egdahl puts the hammer down, sacrifices the clipping points, but drives away and across the line. And I want to say it, but I don't want to say it. Has it stopped raining?
Don't say the words.
I think it stopped raining.
It looks still like it's a bit spitty.
Spit,
Is that fine rain? Is that fine rain?
That's a northern thing to
Yeah.
say. It's that fine rain.
Yeah.
Do you need a big coat or a...
Big coat, yeah.
It's a big coat.
Not just a little coat, big coat.
Not a windbreaker.
It's like putting the big light on.
Look, I really underestimated the weather this weekend because all I packed was shorts and t-shirts.
I'm northern, so it's always cold up there. I'm always prepared.
It's always grim up north. We move it along. Will be Chris Wright now to lead and Stu Egdahl to give chase. They get the thumbs up from our start line marshal and they are good to go. Right to lead in Egdahl. Can Egdahl move on into competition, or Chris Wright get some more of those much needed championship points? A much nicer lead line from Chris Wright right now as he puts the foot down and transitions into outer zone 3. Stu Egdahl, though, all over the back bumper, gives Wright some room to manoeuvre, shallows up and slows that car down. A very good job there from Stu Egdahl, but look how deep into those outer zones Chris Wright is, as Chris Wright looks for outer zone 6 and does a very good job. No gain in proximity for Stu Egdahl as he puts on some big angle, almost spins going into outer zone and across the line from both guys. Good stuff.
It's great to see Chris finding his feet as well, because he sort of just made the top 32 qualifying as well, which isn't what I'm used to seeing from him. So it's good to see he's actually finding his feet a little bit with the track now.
Exactly that. Look, he qualified in 28th position and found his feet, and he was lucky. If he takes out 5th place qualifier, he's looking strong moving on in competition. And See both those guys pull up to our start line, our track marshal down there, and we wait the decision to come in from our judges. Oh, they're deliberating this one. This is not as clear cut as what we thought. No, I just got the look across. Oh, there we go. Decision is in. Who's going to take it? Wow, look at this. Unanimous. Chris Wright gets the win and advances through to the top 16. And unfortunately knocks out Stu Egdahl. Stu Egdahl out of competition. Judges, we go to you.
So we judge that on the basis of the first run was an average of 5.5 for both drivers. Wasn't a great lead, wasn't a great chase. But then the second run, Chris had a much stronger lead line, which overturned and made it a 6-4 advantage, so he takes the win.
Well, there you go, Chris Wright moving on in competition. We move it back to the start line where we do see Mike Jackson lead it. Stop the jokes. I can see you doing it.
Don't you keep getting me into trouble.
No, it's just, I don't know. Mike Jackson on the line to take on Sean Chesham, 12th place qualifier to take on 21st. Chris, look, Sean Chesham for me, that beautiful car, well, it could end up with some tyre marks on the side because Mike Jackson is going to be going for the kill right now. They're off the line, Mike Jackson to lead and Chesham to give chase. So look at that nice initiation from Mike Jackson. He's very shallow though, he looks for the outside line. Oh, and Chesham's very wide. Chesham dropping wheels over the boomerang in the middle of the circuit. They now make their way down. Oh, what a big understeer moment from Sean Chesham. He almost did a Philip Hayden. That was very, very close for Sean Chesham.
You can't do that to another one of my favourite looking cars.
Well, he's making a big dive now up onto the door of Mike Jackson's car and almost makes contact as Mike Jackson makes contact with the wall and almost ends up in a big, big crash there with Sean Chesham at the end of the run.
Did he spin before he went over the line though?
Well, do you know what? I want to have a look at that.
Yeah,
because
that's...
start line the camera there at the end of the wall was a little bit, yeah, and I think the judges do. I think the judges also want to have a little, maybe a little look at the end of that.
Yeah, definitely. Not surprised at all. Definitely worth a replay. They'll be looking closely at what's happening.
Yeah, exactly that. Look, it was if you did spin across the finish line or before the finish line, it would be a 10-0 advantage to Sean Chesham, and Sean Chesham would be looking good then. So just waiting to find out if we are good to go or if our judges want to see a replay. No, they're good to go. They know what they want. They know what they've seen. They're off the line. Chesham to lead, Mike Jackson to give chase. Oh, look at Mike Jackson straight onto the back bumper. And Mike Jackson throws big angle at it now. Sean Chesham though on a really good line. Mike Jackson on the middle of the circuit. He's losing proximity. He's sacrificing line to gain that proximity as Chesham takes out of zone. Oh, and Mike Jackson makes a huge error in the middle of the track. Makes a huge error. And Mike Jackson, look, I think he's just putting too much into this. I think he's overthinking this, overcompensating, and he's just putting too much work into it. Sean Chesham just drove a very nice lead line there.
This could be simple, or it might not be simple, depending on...
This could go, yeah.
If he spun or not on the first
this is
run
it. This is it.
Before the line.
Look at this very, very nice lead from Sean Chesham. Absolutely perfect out of there. Gets nice and deep into outer zone 3. Look at that, almost pops a wheel up off the tarmac, but it's very deep. Now, was that wheels over the edge of the circuit from Sean Chesham? Was it a 10-0 to Sean Chesham and a 10-0 to Mike Jackson? Could this go one more time? That's what you got to look at. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's definitely not something I can call.
Well, there we go. Them guys down in the middle of the circuit ready to receive the decision. We are waiting to find out. Our judges just having a little deliberation on this one, having a quick chat, talking about what they see, what they didn't see. They see stuff we didn't see because we looked at them and they were like, no, look at this, very wide from Chesham. Look. Oh, is he 4 wheels off circuit? If Mike Jackson spun in the first run before the start line and Sean Chesham just dropped 4 wheels over the edge of the track, you know what that means, don't you?
One more time.
That means we're going to see these guys one more time. I'm just making assumptions. I'm just creating the story because that's what I like to do.
Well, we don't know for sure yet.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, we don't know
what happened?
If Mike actually spun before the line. I couldn't see because we're
we're blocked in because
you know.
Look, the rain's been hammering down all weekend. We had to put the sides up on our gazebo. So me and Sarah, we watched this off the monitor, and unfortunately, I can't see the end of that circuit. So I completely missed that. Decision is in. Oh, Ben says Sean Chesham. Oh, Ryan says Mike Jackson, and Brad says Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson gets the win. Judges, again, not an easy one, and a split panel. We send it back to you.
Unfortunately, there was a graphic issue there. It's not a split panel. In the first run there, we obviously looked at Mike's lead. It was decent enough. Obviously, we saw the spin. It was after the line. But what we need to watch back was Sean Chesson's sort of washout between 3 and 4. That was nearly 4 wheels off track, so 3 wheels off track is a 0, so unfortunately that's what called it there.
So there we go, it was after the line, so it was almost right, it was nearly there. Moving along to the next battle, and your guy from the highlight reel, Marcus Clare now sits on the line to take on Stu Jones. Stu Jones having a mare of a weekend. We see him earlier in the half-time break. He said to me, I am having a really bad weekend. This is not going well for me. Well, it could be going even worse right now because Marcus Clare could take him out of competition. He's leading Stu Jones to give chase. Here we go, off the line, and look at this, Stu Jones straight onto the side at Nissan Skyline, but Marcus Clare on a very nice lead line, does drop a wheel over the edge of the circuit, but Stu Jones makes a complete hash of it in the middle of the circuit, throws it away, gets into outer zone 3, very, very late, and Stu Jones now struggling in the middle of the circuit, trying to gain proximity as Marcus Clare puts it on a very nice lead line, through the middle of the circuit, you see Marcus Clare unfazed, having Stu Jones breathing over his shoulder as Jones takes it to the wall one more time and across the line makes some noise. Birmingham, what a run.
Marcus Clare seems very sort of cool, calm and collected as a driver, doesn't he?
I've never met him.
Well, I haven't met him, but when you see his style, the way he drives, I mean, and he's just going to have a chat with him, see if he's really like that in real life as well.
How cool he is.
I can imagine he's quite laid back. That's how he comes across as a driver, so sort of chilled.
Yeah. If he's any more laid back, he'd be asleep.
Yeah,
kind of guy.
basically.
Yeah.
But with the pressure down, you know, Stu Jones behind him, is that going to change? That'll be interesting.
Well, he's in the chase position now, so he's in the best position to be. He's going to try and give him some proximity. He's spotter on the radio, his girlfriend, Amy. She would have been saying to him, look, Stu Jones made a massive mistake in the middle of the circuit at Clifton Point 2. He straightened opposite drift. There could potentially be a 10-0. Look, again, another story, another little spanner in the works I'm throwing in there. There could potentially be a 10-0. So who knows? Who knows what way this is going to go? But Marcus Clare, for me, sitting in the best position he could be. He did a very good lead line. He's now in the chase position. So he's going to be breathing some fire down the neck of Stu Jones.
Absolutely is, yeah.
So we're back on the start line. We're just waiting to adjust some cones, I do believe. So we are good to go. Will be Stu Jones now to lead Marcus Clare to give chase. And here we go, off the line. Stu Jones knows he can't make one mistake. He needs to put everything he's got on the line as he rubs the back bumper along the wall. And Stu Jones now absolutely flying, trying to drive away from Marcus Clare, but this could all go wrong for Stu Jones if he puts too much into this. Marcus Clare keeping his cool. Look at this, absolutely dialed, finds that qualifying line. Stu Jones falls way off that qualifying line again. They're sacrificing out of zone 5. He comes through the middle of the circuit, transitions way too early as Marcus Clare keeps his cool, Mr. Cool keeps his cool, stays on that qualifying line and takes it across the line. And you know what, for me, I think that was clear cut. I think that's done and dusted.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Got to be. Told you he was cool.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I've sussed him.
You've sussed him.
Yeah.
You've got him worked out,
Yeah.
as they say. So those guys pull up to the middle of the circuit to receive the decision. And you know what, for Marcus Clare, to continue the run would be phenomenal. To come to BDC, qualify as high as he did, second place, and now move on to the top 16 and step even closer to getting on a podium at the British Drift Championship would be the dream for this young man. The decision is in. Look at that, already one vote for Marcus Clare. Brad and Ryan, well, they're going to make it unanimous. Marcus Clare gets the win. Marcus Clare gets the win and advances through. Unfortunately, Stu Jones out. Judges, we just send it to you just quickly. Was that as clear cut as it looked?
Basically, what we decided on that was Stu, when he was chasing in the first run there, made 2 opposite drifts, which deems a 0. The second run, no 0 was scored by Marcus Clare. It was an advantage to Stu, but it doesn't overturn the 10-0 there.
So there we go, 10-0. Couldn't overturn. There we go, move it on. When we move it on to this one, a man who nearly didn't make it into top 32, and a man that's been looking for his BDC licence for a very, very long time. Chris Parnham now on the line to lead out Josh King. Josh King, we've seen him on the podium before. He came out of nowhere last year at Three Sisters and stole the show. What can he do right now? King looks like a wounded deer, and Parnham, well, he looks like the hunter. They're off the line, and Parnham to lead, Josh King to give chase. And look at this King on the back bumper. He's got the experience. He knows what he's doing. Can Parnham overturn this? Can Parnham prove what he's got? He's been looking to gain this licence for so long. Chris Parnham, though, falls way off that qualifying line, upsetting Josh King, and Josh King sticks it to the back bumper of that Nissan S15. Parnham, though, finds that qualifying line once again, gets nice and personal out of zone 5, but look at this from Josh King right up onto the side of Chris Parnham's 200SX, and look at that King again making a dive, but making a big mistake. King over the edge of the circuit now. Was King wheels off track there?
Well, this is where we can't quite see just that end of the track, so the judges are going to have to call this, and we'll see what happens in the next run. There might be people downstairs who are actually going, yeah, it was easy, we saw it, you know, because they can see more than we can see, because they can see the full track if they're stood against the fencing, and we're actually watching from a monitor, so it's not always easy, depending on what camera angle we've got, to work out if someone's wheels are off track, or, you know, like you were saying, the mic spun earlier on, we didn't know if that was, you know, over the line or not.
Yeah, look, exactly that. Look, we have got limited views. We've got
have.
We're commentating off a monitor, so you guys at home, we're commentating on exactly what you see, or what you see on the big screen. So sometimes we see stuff, sometimes we don't. So off the line though, Josh King, he will now lead out Chris Parnham, and look at the separation. Josh King and not messing around. This is where the experience comes in. And Josh King will know how fast he can come in here. Chris Parnham is fresh. He's new to the British Drift Championship this weekend, earning his licence. And Josh King, you know what, this is kind of Josh King saying to him, look buddy, you're brand new, don't come in here trying to steal our thunder. And Chris Parnham, well, he's doing a good job sticking to that qualifying line, but Josh King, this could go one way or another. Oh, and Parnham spins. And Parnham spins in the middle of the circuit as Josh King finishes up the run. So we wait to see what the way our judges do call this one. Don't forget, if you're thinking Drift Cup, I don't even know what Drift Cup is. Well, I can tell you, it is the feeder series to the British Drift Championship. They have an unseeded class and they have a seeded class spread over 2 days, over a weekend. And if you think, oh, I want to see these guys in action, we're going to get the decision first for this one. Chris Parnham gets one. I think this is a fault somehow. I think Ben's pressing the one. So there we go. Josh King gets the win and advances through to the top 16. Chris Parnham out of competition, and we just quickly throw it to you, judges. We'll just quickly go to you for that one.
So basically the spin from Chris, that's what basically made the whole battle there. It's 10-0 in the chase to Josh. But when Chris led, he actually impeded Josh twice. Once between 1 and 2, where he lifted off so much, and then again coming into clip 7, he handbraked far too much and just forced Josh on the inside of the track there.
So there we go. Chris Parnham making a few mistakes, putting Josh King offline, but Josh King getting the winner, moving it forward. And as I was saying, just before we send this battle, we're getting the tyres warmed up down there. As you can see, we haven't got McConnell on the line yet. If you want to go and see some Drift Cup, those guys are at Three Sisters Circuit the 17th and 18th of August, and go down there, meet the crew, meet the drivers, and go and see the grassroots of UK drifting and where these guys come from. These guys are coming through, taking the championship, and look, we're seeing great things. Martin Cowley was a Drift Cup driver last year. He earned his licence coming to the BDC, and this year, well, he's proven his worth. On the line though, it will be Luke Barker to take on Stephen McConnell. And you can see Barker absolutely hammered down. He's going to try and drive away now. He knows McConnell hasn't got the power. But Barker has a little wobble there as he comes into that outer zone and starts to now get it done. McConnell had a very nice line before, but he's panicking a little bit. You can see him absolutely sacrificing that chase line, that qualifying line, to try and gain proximity as he gets nice and close to the wall. Does Barker nice and deep into outer zone 6, and Barker on a flyer right now. Barker sticks the back end of that 350Z to the wall as McConnell struggles to keep up and struggles to put on a fight as he takes it across the finish line. And that one is just a tale of power. He's just got out-card. That was all it was, pure and simple.
Absolutely. think, though, that Luke is having some good luck finally. Probably shouldn't have said that.
Well done, Sarah,
Yeah,
because
I
now
shouldn't have said
he's
that,
probably
should
going to
He
blow
can't-
the car up.
He can't have any more bad luck. He's had it all.
You
so,
say that.
Yeah,
You say
he's
that.
done it. No, it's great to see him having a little bit of success. He's had a
Certainly
really
is.
tough year so far.
He's had 2 podiums in Ireland. That's not a tough year.
No, well, sorry, in the UK, he's had 2 very, very tough years.
He's had a tough year. Yeah, look, he comes home, and these guys at home say, "You might be going to Ireland and having an easy weekend,
Yeah, but
pal,
you're not
but when
doing
you're
it
not
here."
having it here, we will get ready to rock and roll. It will be Stephen McConnell now to lead out Barker. Look, we know he's got all the power in the world, but can he drive behind that slow car? Can he balance that car slowly behind McConnell? McConnell jumps the start line in the lead position, so McConnell will be held back there, and he will be spoken to by the marshals. Yeah, now he gets the thumbs up again. We do get a restart. McConnell to lead out Barker. Barker going to have to be careful. He's going to have to play the game. He's going to have to be very, very careful with what he does. McConnell on a nice initiation gets that car on. Good angle. Nice and easy, but he's way, way deep as he absolutely smashes out of zone 2 to pieces. Now he transitions into 3. Is he going to take 3 down as well? He certainly does. McConnell on an absolute fly. Barker now starts to dial his car into the side of McConnell's E36 BMW. As McConnell transitions back into the middle circuit, Barker giving him some room. This could be Barker's time to shine right now as he once again tries to apply some pressure as they both push across the line. Incredible stuff. So there we go, incredible stuff from Luke Barker and Steve McConnell. And again, if you're thinking about coming down this weekend, unfortunately we did sell out grandstand tickets just earlier on, so the grandstand is now fully sold out for today, but there are still tickets on the gate now for Stanley. You want to come down and spectate with the rest of the guys that are here. Decisions in straight away though for Barker and McConnell. Slide them left for Barker, right for McConnell. And there we go, Luke Barker gets the win and advances through. Luke Barker takes out Steve McConnell. And yeah, as much as grandstand sold out tomorrow, Sarah, tickets still on sale all weekend on the gate. Come down. You can't say it enough. Axe throwing, car shows, bull riding. We've got DJ here. We've got DJ Luke Paul in the house, the generic white guy.
Yes.
That guy is going to be putting on a bit of a party later on.
He was absolutely throwing out some bangers this morning.
Well,
woke everybody up.
After the podium tonight, he's going to play a few tunes because I've
Yes.
asked him to.
Nice
Requested it. On the line now, it's Nerridges to take on Cunnington. Cunnington, I said it earlier, he's always the bridesmaid. He never really,
the underdog.
he never really gets on the podium. He made it once this year. Can he do it again? But first, well, I mean, he's got Nerridges standing in his way in the top 32. This is going to be an easy battle for either of these guys. They're on the line, they're ready to go. It's Nerridges to lead out Paul Cunnington. And Nerridges, well, going to have the whole Lithuanian lunatic army supporting him. But look at Cunnington! Cunnington on the back bumper, and Nerridges takes out that good point. Nerridges on an absolutely perfect qualifying line at the moment as he fires in out of zone 3, takes the cone down as Nerridges dials even more angly, but he's going to spin. Just about holds onto it. Cunnington on the inside of the track as they go door to door. Nerridges absolutely flying right now as they come into that final out of zone and across the line. Cunnington gives him some room. Give him a round of applause.
I knew that one was going to be one of the most exciting battles, and I think it will be today.
They need to calm down. It's
These two
only
are
top
just,
32.
I know. Yeah, but they're bringing it. They're bringing it. That's what they're here for, isn't
Bringing
it?
it. Yep, exactly.
They're two very strong drivers, and
Very, very good
to me,
drivers.
that was always going to be a really exciting battle.
So just going to readjust our track, our cones in the middle of the track there. As you can see, Nerridges was just destroying them, you know.
Yeah, just reinstate all the clipping points that he's destroyed.
So wipers on. Is it raining? I can't see from here.
It's brightened up slightly.
It certainly has, just a little bit. I don't think it's going to be dry for the final, but it's going to make it tricky because if it gets patchy,
Yeah, it might get patchy.
it might be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, there's going to be more grip now than there was earlier.
Certainly is, yeah. Look, these guys putting in run after run, and we're waiting to get thumbs up from our track marshals just to make sure we're ready to go for the second half of this battle. Where Cunnington will lead Nerridges to give chase. And yeah, don't forget, like I say, if you want to come along tomorrow. Loads of stuff going on. Top 32 parade, meet and greet, open pit. Meet and greet.
I know, I love the meet and greet. It's awesome. Because you get down on the track with the drivers and the cars.
Incredible stuff. Off the line though, Cunnington and Nerridges. Look at this from Nerridges, side by side with Cunnington. He is not messing around right now as they fire it in. But Cunnington's very wide. Nerridges is going to go even deeper. Just about holds on to it. as Nerigis now looks for the side of Cunnington's S14. He's coming to outer zone 3. Cunnington slows that car down, and Nerigis just gives a little dive, just puts some pressure on to the side of that skid risk S14 right now as they transition back into 6th. Look at this from Nerigis onto the back bumper. They transition down to the outer zone one last time, and Nerigis is right with Cunnington as he pushes him across the finish line. Well, I'm not sure what way that is going to go. Very, very good lead and change from both these guys. Nerigis is happy whatever way this one goes. He's so they pull up to the middle of the circuit and await the decision from a judge's arm out the window there from Paul Cunnington. Tapping the roof of his car, he's happy with that. I think that's it. That is it. Both these guys, you know, they did everything they could. They both put on a really, really good fight. Who will take it through to the top 16 to battle Luke Barker? Slide him left for Nerigis, right for Cunnington. Oh, there we go. Paul Cunnington, ladies and gentlemen, gets the win and advances through. And we fire it over to our judges.
Oh, getting a bit too excited with the celebrations there.
Yep, that's right, Ian. So, due to the error that Nerigis had on clip 4, that was enough to negate the win and give it to Paul.
So there we go, as simple as that, just a small mistake from Nerigis on out of clip 4, messed up his line, threw the whole battle away. We move it back to the start line where we will see Ian Rutherford to take on Cole Farrar. Now these guys know each other for a long time, they've driven together for many, many years. Farrar scraped in, and I mean he scraped in the top 32, 30th position. There was just a matter of points in it. Rutherford, well, he's up there in the top 3. He is the 3rd place qualifier. Can Farrar redo what he did at Teesside, or will Rutherford take him down as they fire it in? Farrar knows it's do or die right now as he's door on door. As Cole Farrar tags onto the back bumper of Ian Rutherford's S13, judges stand up and start to applaud. They give a little bit of separation there now as Farrar puts the hammer down, starts to find the side of the S13 one more time as they transition him in the circuit. Almost contact from Farrar. Farrar is not messing around. He wants that podium one more time. Up onto the door one more time. And almost contact. Birmingham makes some noise.
We've both got no words. We just sat like mouths open. What was that? That is Carl Farrar at his best. That was awesome.
I'll tell you what that was. That was a Carl Farrar that sat in the pits 10 minutes ago and thought to himself, I really messed up today. If I don't pull this out of the bag, it is game over.
Yeah, and he brought it. He brought the whole bag.
Well, he brought the whole bag. He brought every tool that he had in his toolbox. But right now, Ian Rutherford's spotters are going to be saying to him, do you know what, dude? You pretty much stuck it to your door the whole way around. You're going to have to pull this out of the bag.
Yeah.
You're really going to have to tear the bag in half and put it in the recycling bin because you need to stick it to him. And if you don't, he's going through to the top 16 right now. Farrar to lead, Rutherford to give chase. And a separation already. Look at this from Farrar. Farrar very, very wide, but he's going to make it work. And Rutherford struggling to find a big, fast transition. The track is now starting to dive. And look at the dive from Ian Rutherford as he gets onto the door of Cole Farrar into outer zone 4. Farrar unfazed, puts the foot down, tries to drive away. Ian Rutherford now once again shortcuts the circuit, gains that proximity, dives up onto the side of that RX-8 and pushes him across the line. Oh, but Farrar makes a big mistake. Farrar makes a big mistake across the line. And would you believe it, Sarah?
That was unbelievable, completely unbelievable. I've got no words for it. Gone, done. Going home, that's it.
This is just top 32. We're not even into the top 16.
This is just the top 32. I mean, Carl Farrar there has absolutely blown me away. But Ian put that pressure on, didn't he?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can hear you giving them applause. What a battle from those two guys. But we do need a victor. Who is going to take it through? Look at that Farrar hand out the window, thumbs up to Ian Rutherford, and tyre marks on each of the car. Decision is in. Left for Rutherford, right for Farrar. Wow, and look at this, unanimous! Ian Rutherford takes down Cole Farrar. Judges. Now that's the sort of battles we come to see this weekend.
Yeah, that was really good fun. That was, but amongst all of what happened, the thing that sealed the deal there was Carl hitting clip 8 far too hard. That sending him opposite drift before the finish line. That literally gave Ian a 10-0 in his chase. So we've that's pretty much what called it. But great battle there, guys. Pushing probably too hard, but fair play.
So there we go, a small mistake from Carl Farrar. The end of the run knocked himself out of competition.
That's all it took.
And that's all it took. He was destined for top 16, he was destined for good things, but, well, he created his own fate. Move it along. Danny Maguire now to take on Charlie Hume. Look at that, Danny Maguire, Team Skid Risk. The guy who absolutely wrecked his car in qualifying just to make it through. Takes on a guy who just earned his BDC licence. Now, one thing to take from Charlie Hume, he is super consistent. This guy is such a technical driver, it is incredible. If you watch him in practice, he is pinpoint perfect on the track. Can Maguire be taken down by the new kid on the block? We're about to find out. They're off the line. And look at Charlie Hume, not scared of the big gun right now. As absolutely flying comes Danny Maguire. Danny Maguire is absolutely flying, but he's way off qualifying line. Charlie Hume sticks it to the qualifying line, and Maguire has a big error. Maguire almost comes to a complete stop as he understeers down into outer zone 3. And Charlie Hume is keeping his cool. He's sticking to that qualifying line. As Danny Maguire comes through the middle of the circuit, Charlie Hume absolutely pinpoint perfect. And Maguire off the circuit again. Maguire making a whole host of errors. He's shook by the young gun, the new kid on the block.
I think it's a possibility. You might be right with that. You can't tell what's going to happen. And this is what I love.
Look, Danny Maguire, look, after watching them qualifying runs, he's super confident. He doesn't care about wrecking the car just to get in the show. He made a lot of mistakes there.
It's the hair in the tortoise. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not as slow as tortoises. However, but the principle still applies. It's the underdog, the person you don't expect, the person who's really neat and slower as a driver, not as crazy with his style, might actually have one over on the more flamboyant driver.
Consistency is the key. And off the line, Charlie Hume comes. He is Mr. Consistent himself. What has Danny Maguire got? The spotters would have been on the radio saying, you need to pull it out of the bag right now and stick it to him. Oh, and a big, fast, snappy initiation from Danny Maguire. But he's made a huge error once again. Maguire makes a huge mistake out of zone 2. He starts to find the side of that Kenda tyres. Nissan S13 of Charlie Hume. Charlie Hume, look at the line from Hume. But he sacrificed his 5. He's trying to drive away. He's panicking a little bit right now. As Hume puts the foot down and Charlie Hume drives into this outer zone. Dive up onto the door goes Danny Maguire. But Danny Maguire bullies the young gun across the line.
That is two very different style drivers for sure, isn't it? But it doesn't necessarily mean one style is better than the other. If they come head to head, it's all down to technical.
Well, this is it. Look, technical driving, consistency and keeping you cool. And I think Danny Maguire ever so slightly lost his cool. And I think he knows that. I think he knows what he done. He made a few mistakes. Decisions in, left for Maguire, right for Hume. Can the new kid on the block take it through to the top 16? He certainly can. Charlie Hume gets the win and advances through. Danny Maguire, a whole host of errors. No need to come to the judges. Danny Maguire, big error down out of zone 3. And, way offline at 8 as well. I mean, I'm no judge, but I've seen a lot of drifting in the last 5 years, and that's error. It's not drifting if you're going in a straight line.
No, I mean, I'm quite new to drifting, and I think I've grasped that
think
part
you've grasped
of it.
it already.
Yeah.
When we go back to the line, it's going to be Dominic Gates, Diamond Dom to take on Andy Sykes. Now, this could go either way. A borrowed car, a guy that's making his return to the BDC. He's kind of got the flavour for it again. I've seen him out there, he's smiling, he's having fun. He says, this is the BDC I was enjoying in 2015. Maybe I can make a comeback, Maybe I can step back into the arena. Well, he's got to prove himself, because we all know Dominic Gates, he's not scared to stick the car on the line, even if it's not his own.
I dare say you're right, though. Definitely.
He's on the line, he's ready to go. And Dominic Gates qualified up in 6th place. Andy Sykes down in 27th. Who's going to take it through? At this point in the day, with what we've seen so far, qualifying order makes no sense and nobody knows what's going to happen. No. But look at this from Dominic Gates as he absolutely comes flying in. Andy Sykes would have known. But look at this. Dominic Gates is way down. He manages to get out to outside zone 2, but he's sacrificed a little bit of the line. Now Andy Sykes is absolutely flying, trying to keep up, trying to gain some ground, some lost ground here as Diamond Dom sticks it to the wall and Andy Sykes sticks to that qualifying line. Big separation now as both guys navigate their way into that outer zone. And Dominic Gates takes it across the finishing line and Andy Sykes just hanging on in there. So back to the start line they go. It will be now Dominic Gates to chase down Andy Sykes. this one, well, can Andy Sykes return to the BDC and cause an upset, or can Diamond Dom really prove that the new guys, the new talent, have moved on since 2015? As we go through the start line, it will be Sykes to lead out Gates. And look at this from Dominic Gates, straight onto the back bumper of that S13. He knows you need that proximity, you've got to be on the back bumper to get the kill. Andy Sykes on a very nice line there as they come through the centre of the circuit and transition out into outer zone 3. Takes down the cone. Oh, but Andy Sykes makes a huge error. Makes a huge error, uses the runoff. He tagged the wall and used the runoff, Sarah, to get himself out of trouble, as Dominic Gates is now going to finish up the run. And look, this is how it's changing. This sport is progressing, and one small error, you're out of competition.
That's it. I mean, I'm glad he avoided any, major wall contact there, and used the runoff wisely, really. But it's a shame his run went that way.
Yeah, it certainly is. Look, no one wants to see that happen, and yeah, for me, Andy Sykes, he just got it wrong. He mistimed the transition, got into it too deep. We're going to make the decision, Dominic Gates or Andy Sykes, and there we go. Dominic Gates gets the win. Andy Sykes out of competition, and look, going off track, 4 wheels off the circuit, can't be overturned. Diamond Dom moves through. Goldfinger rings. Sounds like James Bond, doesn't he? It's like a James Bond villain.
You're going to call him Goldfinger from now on. Could change his livery.
Change his livery. His livery on his other car is gold and silver, I do believe.
There you go.
He's not silly.
Makes sense. He knows.
He knows. So Gates advances through, and this, believe it or not, is the final battle in our top 32 before we start to kick off our top 16. Next battle of the day, Rob Johnson to take on Ignis Minelga. Now, we've seen Johnson do some very good stuff in the past, but he's a little bit hit and miss. He's a little bit wild, he can go a little bit crazy sometimes. Ignis Minelga, though, looking strong this weekend. That VG30 powered Nissan 300 ZX. That's a new chassis, so it's different. What has Johnson got? He leads him in, and look at this, right onto the back bumper goes Ignis right now. And you know what I can see some tyre smoke, Sarah. That means the track is drying up, but is it still wet down there and out of zone 3? It certainly is. Oh, and a little tap onto the back end from Ignis Minelga just upsets Rob Johnson's line now. Rob Johnson continues the run, and Rob Johnson's going to finish up the run there and take it back to the start line. Judge is going to be looking at that one. Be interested to see exactly what happened there. Did he slow massively, Sarah? That's what they're going to be looking at.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I didn't see that initially. All I saw was he just tapped the back of Rob's car, but again, I could have missed something. I could have maybe not seen Rob slow down. Maybe that did cause it.
Yeah, did Rob drastically slow down as they entered out of zone 3, but that is a decel zone. So from clipping point 3 to 4, that is a decel zone. Judges will be expected, or your drivers will be expected to slow down there using the handbrake or the foot brake. So Rob Johnson might not be at fault. This could be all down to Ignis. We move it along though, back to the start line, and now Ignis sits in that lead position to take on Rob Johnson. Rob Johnson's going to chase. Well, does he give him a little tap up the bum? Rob Johnson is going to say,
return the favour.
Right, if you want to play that dirty game, we'll see what you can do. And look at that from Johnson, straight onto the back bumper goes Rob Johnson. He gets in the middle of the circuit though. He does manage to get it to outer zone 2, and look at that dry in the middle. Look at the transition from Rob Johnson. Nearly no use of the handbrake as Johnson sticks it to the side of the 300 ZX, and look at Rob Johnson. He's an absolute man possessed right now as Ignis navigates his way through the middle of the circuit. Johnson once again makes a big dive up onto the door. Huge angle from Rob Johnson. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the Rob Johnson I like to come and watch. That is awesome. We were on about his style earlier. He's a solid driver. He's confident. He's quite consistent. But when he's triggered, that comes out.
Triggered is the wrong word. There's a little switch inside that car, and I think when he gets in it, someone presses it and says, "Go mad." Because he just drives
inside
wild.
The car,
look at this. Look at the initiation as well. That back bumper was completely 90 degrees to the track. We're going to take a quick look at the replay. Oh, no, we lost it. That's a shame. We thought we was going to see the replay of the tag onto the back bumper. They are down in front of the grandstand, ready to receive the decision of who will take it through to the top 16. I mean, I could sit here and watch these guys battle again.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Neither of these guys deserve to be knocked out of competition. We are eagerly awaiting to get the decision. Judges still chatting about it. I think they're chatting about the contact. Did Rob Johnson slow too much? Did he make a mistake and slow too much? Did Iggis come in a little bit too hot? Did he, try and force himself on it? Well, they've got a decision. Left for Johnson, right for Iggis. And there we go, unanimous. Rob Johnson gets the win, and he rounds out our top 16. And judges, we have to throw that one to you because we want to know what swung that Johnson's way.
Right, so what we want to see the replay was for the contact between 3 and 4 on Johnson's lead run. It's a slowing area. See Rob going to there fairly hot, slowing up, and I think Iggis just didn't quite slow as much, gave him a tap, and that's what caused that sort of error. We would have to give advantage one way or another there. That would swing in Rob's favour. Iggis's lead run, really good. Rob fully chased that lead run and made every opportunity to really put it on there, and so Rob really stuck it to the door and all the way through. Really exciting chase run from Rob there, and that gave him an advantage again in that chase run.
So there we go, Rob Johnson getting the win and advancing through to the top 16. That fulfills our top 16. That means we're going to give you a little bit of a top 16 parade. So these guys are down there in their battle order. They're all gridded, and they're going to be led out by, I do believe, our BDC transit van.
Is he going to drift?
Well, no, not really. I mean, we can try.
We need like a mini.
Is that what you want to see? Is that what it's going to take to impress
I'd really
you?
I'd want like a mini side series of van drifting only.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing, really.
Yeah, but we'll make it a thing. We're pioneers already. Let's do this.
Sounds like you've already just given it away, though, to be fair.
No, that's fine. We'll rock it.
You'll rock
I've
it.
got a combo. I'll put some McDonald's trays on the back.
You love a Vauxhall, don't you?
No.
You've given it away now. So
again, not my choice of vehicle, but it was a gift.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as they come down now from the start line, these guys are your top 16 drivers. So, as they come through, I want you to give them a huge round of applause. These guys, put their blood, sweat, tears, and every single penny they earn into these cars and to be here this weekend. Give them a round of applause. Give them a wave. Our first battle of the day in top 16 will be Damien Choppin to take on Louis Edwards. You see there, Louis Edwards. You know what? That guy's a killer. He's been doing good things all weekend. Up next, we will see Stephen Fitzgerald to take on Willie Hanna. Now, that one is going to be a tale that you do not want to miss because that could be a dangerous one. Up next, it will be your current points and championship leader, Martin Cowley, to take on Matt Fountain. After that, it will be Mike Jackson to take on Chris Wright in that driven 350Z. After that, it will be Marcus Clare, Sarah's man. Well, not really.
I wouldn't go saying that.
To take on Josh King. And Luke Barker to take on Paul Cunnington. After that, it will be Ian Rutherford to take on Charlie Hume, the new kid on the block. He's looking stronger than ever. Dominic Gates, he'll take on Rob Johnson, who just made himself a spot in the top 16. Ladies and gentlemen, as they come past you, give them a round of applause. All these drivers putting heart and soul into these cars. And well, look, I've had fun already.
Yeah.
And that's just top 32. Things are going to start heating up now.
It's about to get serious, isn't it?
Look, top 32 is kind of... It kind of sorts everyone out. We do qualifying and it gives us our 32 drivers, but the top 32 battles really define our top 16. The top 16 realistically are the best of this weekend.
Yes.
We've got very good lead line drivers, we've got very, very good chase line drivers. When you get that together, when you get all those packages together, you then start to create some seriously good battles. And you know what we see? We see Rob Johnson making smoke on initiation through into outer zone 2, into outer zone 3. That means that portion of the track, the middle of the track, is starting to dry up. That's going to make it sketchy for these guys.
This is going to be really tricky now, because if the track itself is inconsistent, it's one thing if the whole thing dries out, you know what you're playing with. If it starts to get patchy, it's going to be really difficult.
It's the patchy that makes it very inconsistent, because these guys don't really know what kind of setup to go out on. It's not dry, it's not wet. You go out on a tyre, on a suspension setup, you go out on track, you initiate, it's dry. You come through the middle of the track, it's dry. You enter into outside zone 3, it's soaking wet. The track's off camber. And that's why we removed that section of the wall, because to give these guys a run off. We see Andy Sykes take that escape lane, as we've been calling it, and he escaped out. He was lucky he didn't make any contact with anything, and he saved the car. If there was a concrete wall there, it would have been game over for the end of Andy Sykes' car. So look, it does make it sketchy. Who knows what's going to happen? It's stopped raining. There's no wind in the area either, so the wind's not going to dry the track out very quick. So it's just literally going to be our guys on circuit drying out the track. You guys can see in attendance on the big screen and at home. We can see our battle tree of our top 16. And well, before you know it, Sarah, it's going to be time to announce the podium. And right now, I don't know who's going to end up on the top of that podium.
Yeah, I can't guess at all. At all. Something else I noticed about the track, there's quite a lot of different surfaces included in it, and that's going to come into play as well, isn't it?
We spoke about this quite a bit in the driver's briefing.
Yeah.
There is a lot of change in the surface itself. You can see the dark coloured tarmac and the light coloured tarmac. It's broken up. There's a lot of patches in it as well. There's also some painting on the circuit. You can see some painted hash marks because this is normally a service road and a car park.
Yeah.
So there are painted areas of the circuit, which is a different kind of paint to the paint we use. We use lime to mark out our circuit. These guys use, like a plastic paint. So that's very slippery.
Really slippery.
So, these guys, they're battling all sorts of stuff. This isn't an easy layout. This isn't simple for them to navigate. So, fair play to them. And top 16 is going to be interested as we move forward. I say, again, a huge thank you to everyone who came out this weekend to support UK Drifting. You guys really helping grow the sport and the natural progression of drifting in the UK, push it forward. And a massive thank you to all you guys. And if you're thinking about coming along, Sarah, well, look, what are these guys? There's plenty going on, right?
There's all sorts. Right, I'm going to go and have a go at the axe throwing.
Bull riding. No, you bull riding.
Axe throwing.
Bull riding.
You have a go at the bull riding, and then I'll have a go.
Okay, yeah. We'll flip a coin for that.
All right. What else have we got? There's a car show.
What haven't we got? What haven't we got?
Gorgeous cars down there on display. Got some trade.
Yep.
Trade stands. We've got Excite Energy.
We've got Excite Energy in the house with two simulators, so you can get down there, and they're simulators, I do believe, of the rallycross car that Oliver Bennett drives, so I think it's the Mini, so you can get down there. I would absolutely kill you in like that.
Well, you
won't, we go head to head. My time will be at half yours.
Yeah, we'll let you say that. We've also got... I'll tell you what.
No, we won't
You
try.
might beat me in that, but...
You'll beat me at Axe Pro.
If ProDrift let me in their cars, I'll beat you there.
Well, I don't know about that either. So yeah, look,
ProDrift.
ProDrift down there. We've got ProDrift Academy in the house this weekend. They brought along a load of their school 350Zs. Yogi and Tom Hutchinson and the guys down there. They're putting on passenger rides, so you can go out in a drift car if you've never been in a drift car. If you've never been in a drift car before, perfect opportunity. Get down there, jump in a drift car, have a passenger ride, and if you're feeling even more confident, a little bit more money, you can drive the car itself and you can learn from one of their instructors exactly what they're after and learn to drift. And look, those guys, they'll teach you how to drift, and before you know it, you'll be hooked, you'll be in Drift Cup, before you know it, you'll be on the big stage with these guys here, Pro-Am BDC.
It's worth it. Get down at ProDrift.
Yeah,
it is so worth it.
So we've got those guys down there, we've got some Trade Village going on, we've got Hell Performance down there, we've got the guys from Yellow Speed, represented by Tigua Imports.
There's a guy drawing as well.
Drawing?
Yeah, or painting possibly. I didn't quite see, but he's doing some artwork, like car-related artwork. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had a quick look. The tent was closed a little bit this morning, obviously because of the rain.
Yeah.
But I put my head in and had a little look. It was
to get down there
cool.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of that going on. Obviously the axe throwing that we can't push enough because
we love it.
Because we love it, and I haven't had a go yet. Before the end of the weekend, we'll have a go. Shouldn't do it after we have a party. We should do it.
Let's do
maybe
it.
In the
let's
morning.
do it after the podium.
Yeah, okay.
Before we have a pint.
And obviously after the podium tonight, we're going to be playing some music. So if you are still hanging around at the end of the day and you're going to go to the pits and hang out and see some of our drivers, because we've got an open pit lane here, you can go and meet those guys. Got the generic white guy here, DJing tonight, putting on some tunes. He'll be in attendance all day tomorrow as well, playing music for you guys. And trust me when I say he's a good DJ. He's all right.
Yeah, I was listening. I was like bopping along this morning.
Yeah, you was having a real good jam. Yeah, real good jam. So yeah, come down. We've also got the guys here with the Lambos from the rally. They're going to be tomorrow bringing out our top 24 and top 16 parade. So even more stuff to look forward to. Like I say, grandstand tickets are sold out, but there are still tickets available on the gates. Come down and stand. Yeah. Plenty of places to stand. We've opened up parts of the circuit, so you can stand almost at clipping point 8.
You can. Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was helping putting the fences up yesterday.
I watched from up here where I had my feet up.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Eating an ice cream.
Yeah, sure you did. But actually, you can stand where sort of clipping point 4 and 5 is, and you can see right down the entire track.
There isn't a bad seat in the house.
There isn't actually.
There isn't a bad seat in the house.
There isn't.
So we are just waiting to get our top 16 drivers back on the start line. A few of those guys had to make their way back to the pits and change tyres and refuel and get themselves sorted. Also, not only the cars, but had judges just had to have a quick refuel.
Yes.
Because, I
They've
mean,
gone for some
such a
Excite
hard
and-
job sitting there watching drifting all weekend.
I don't know why they're laughing at that comment.
Yeah. So we're just waiting to get those guys back out and ready to go for some action. So there we go. It does look like we have got our first battle almost ready to rock and roll. I can see Damien chopping down there on the start line and Louis Edwards, and I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what way this is, what can happen here. Because Damien Choppin, look, he didn't do a lot wrong in, there's Lee Colgate Lawrence that knocked out competition.
There he is. He's still here watching.
Knocked out competition.
Who's that behind him?
Didn't go home. You know, stayed and watched and had some fun. Look, Damien Choppin for me, he didn't qualify the best at all. It was 32nd place qualifier.
Yeah, he's just scraped through.
But for me, Choppin, when we see him in battles against Hayden, okay, Hayden crashed out, but Damien Choppin didn't really put a foot wrong. He had a very good lead line.
This is kind of it. Somebody said to me a little while ago, and it makes so much sense. It's not about putting in an amazing run. It's just not making that vital mistake. So
Yeah.
putting in a sort of safe, consistent run, let the other person make the mistake.
Exactly
You
that.
know, just sit there, safe, do your thing, and that quite often can just carry you
Consistency,
through.
yeah, consistency is the key. Yeah, a lot of these guys, you know, we'll find the guys that end up on the podium are very, very consistent. Martin Cowley is one of those guys. You watch him, yeah, he's deadly at chase driving. He's very, very fast. Probably one of the fastest on those tyres. He's super consistent. Run after run, he'll do exactly the same thing. And for me, I don't know what way this is going to go. Choppin stands a very good shot, but Louis Edwards, he is very, very technical. He's very, very clinical. You know,
Yes.
he doesn't ever really put a foot wrong. He's not got the biggest horsepower car on the grid, but what he has got, he puts to good use. And on the
Absolutely.
line, we are ready to rock and roll. First battle of our top 16, Birmingham. I know we've been waiting around for the last 10 minutes. You still with us? That's what I like to hear. They're still there, Sarah. It's cold, it's damp, they're having some fun. They're off the line. It'll be Louis Edwards to lead out Damien Choppin for a spot in the Great 8. And look at this, Damien Choppin gives him some room to initiate, but Louis Edwards, look, the track's starting to dry up now. The track's starting to dry up, and Louis Edwards struggled to get out to outer zone 2. He did make it out there, but he slows that car down a bit. Little left foot braking. Choppin slows down massively to give him the room, but look at the drive from Edwards, pinpoint perfect. As I said, very good qualifying line driver. As Louis Edwards now flying through, gets into the outer zone, gets back onto the wall. Choppin starts to drag him in, tries to gain that proximity as they come across the line.
Great drive from both there, but I think Choppin could have had a bit more proximity for me to go wow kind of thing. But you know, safe.
Look, proximity is the key, and yeah, chase drivers should always match or mimic or you know, better the lead car's line or angle. So for me, Choppin really he held back. Maybe he thought Edwards would be a bit slower than what he was, and he would be able to rein him in, and he wasn't. Edwards was flying. You know, he has to keep the foot in. He has to use that
Yeah, he
momentum.
does. Yes.
So off the line, it will be Choppin now to lead in Edwards. And a nice initiation there from Choppin. Now he's going to use all the power, but he's very shallow. He does make it out, but look at Louis Edwards. Oh, wow! Edwards with an incredible transition. Almost takes the back end of that E46 BMW as Choppin puts it to the wall. And Louis Edwards all over the side of that little compact. They come through the middle of the circuit. Damien Choppin using all the power he's got, but Louis Edwards using the skill in the bag as they take it across the finish line. And that one, not an easy one to call at all.
Not an easy one to call. For me, I would say Edwards would just about take that. But judges might see something I didn't.
Yeah, judges might see something we didn't. It could go either way. Decision is in, nevertheless. Slide them left for Edwards, right for Choppin. Brad, Ben and Ryan. Ryan says Louis Edwards, and there we go, unanimous. Louis Edwards gets the win. And Louis Edwards gets the win. Judges, we just quickly throw that one back to you.
Yeah, Louis had a fantastic lead run. It was so good that we could not get any proximity. And then on the reverse, it was an average run 5.5, but not enough to knock him off the spot.
There we go. So Louis Edwards gets the win and moves through, and we move it along to Stephen Fitzgerald now to take on William Hanna. Both guys warming up on the line. Fitzgerald kind of got a bit of a gift in the last run against Kirsty Widrington and gifted the win ever so slightly there. Fitzgerald now really needs to put his socks up and try and take down Willie Hanna. So too Nissan's one, an S15, one a Skyline R33. Both running identical engines, RB25s under the bonnet, both similar power. Well, who has got the skill? And look at this from Fitzgerald, absolutely screams off the start line. And Stephen Fitzgerald quickly realises how grippy it is on circuit and completely gets offline as Fitzgerald comes flying into that outer zone. Now the track really starting to dry up. This is going to make stuff really, really tricky right now for these guys. As they come through the middle of the circuit, Fitzgerald making a whole host of errors. Fitzgerald absolutely all over the show right now as he gets into the wall and across the line. So there we go, back to the start line, and these guys go, and yeah, Fitzgerald for me just made a whole host of errors, Sarah.
Absolutely. I think they're just going to have to breathe now, because I think they're both trying to just bring it too much. And I think it's just making them a little bit scrappy.
I think the thing for me was Fitzgerald initiated, and then he quickly realised, you see that car stall up massively after he handbraked. You see how grippy that is now on initiation. So we're kind of getting to almost a dry circuit. We're looking over the edge of the tent here, and the track is drying
There's
massively.
definitely some dry patches.
Well, they're off the line. Is now Willie Hanna to lead out Stephen Fitzgerald as they come flying in. You can see that smoke from the tyres. And Willie Hanna absolutely perfect. But look at Fitzgerald all over the back bumper. As Fitzgerald slows that car down, Willie Hanna gets into the wall, almost comes to a straight, and there finds out his own fire. Fitzgerald all over the side of him. He gets himself caught up in the middle of the track. Completely wrong transition from Stephen Fitzgerald. As Willie Hanna finds that outer zone and across the line, and that's the Willie Hanna we know. That's the Willie Hanna we have grown to love.
That's it, and like you said earlier, he doesn't quite always pull that out of the bag, but that is the type of run that has got him where he's been so far, really.
Yeah, we've learned a lot about Willie Hanna in the last 2 years. This guy, he kind of he shines and then he doesn't shine, and you know what, for me, sometimes he really comes alive in the battles. It's like he gels with a track instantly. And Willie Hanna, in that battle, he was absolutely flying, and the lead line and the qualifying line was perfect. Slide him left for Fitzgerald, right for Willie Hanna, and there we go, unanimous. Willie Hanna gets the win and advances through, and judges Willie Hanna unstoppable looking there.
Yeah, that was an interesting one there. So, Stephen in his lead line, it was Stephen's lead line wasn't amazing, but Willie had no procs in his chase at all. So good line from William Hanna with no proximity, a poor lead line from Stephen. When they switched around, Willie had a great lead, a slight straighten from when he tapped the wall slightly hard at clip 4, but then Stephen caught himself out between 5 and 6, lost all his proximity. That then gave the advantage to Willie.
There we go, Willie Hanna getting the advance and moving through. And this one is a very important one. You wouldn't think it, but it is most certainly. Martin Cowley on the line to take on Matt Fountain. Now, Louis Edwards sits in second place in the championship, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's now into the Grade 8. If Martin Cowley gets knocked out, stop 16, could Louis Edwards take the championship? They're off the line. Cowley to lead, Matt Fountain to give chase. And look at this from Cowley, but Fountain right with him. Oh, wow! And Matt Fountain gets himself in the middle of the circuit, takes down out of zone 6. But Cowley's in the wall! Cowley's in the wall, and contact between him and Matt Fountain. And you know what? I need to see a replay of that, because what went down right there. And as it looked like there was damage there to Matt Fountain's car, but he's going to make his way off the circuit. Wow, incredible stuff, Sarah.
Well, Cowley's driving and he looks okay mechanical wise, so was that just a driver error?
It was just, it seemed to happen all too much too quick there. You know, Matt Fountain was all the way up the inside. He completely destroyed out of zone 6, and then for some reason Martin Cowley washed way off track into that outer zone. That his wheels off track at that point of the circuit. So could that be a 10-0 potentially to Martin Cowley? We're going to see a replay. Look at this. They get into that outer zone. Cowley. Yeah, Martin Cowley is not being affected by by Matt Fountain at all. Matt Fountain, in fact, is trying to slow down to avoid him because he can see his way off that qualifying line. This really, right now, could be for the championship.
I can't deal with it.
This could be for the championship right now. Louis Edwards is through to the Grade 8. If Matt Fountain takes out Martin Cowley right now, this could mix up the championship right before we go to Three Sisters in a few weeks' time. They're off the line. Fountain to lead out Cowley for a spot in the Grade 8. And a nice initiation from Cowley behind Fountain. Fountain, cool, calm and collected though, but he's in the middle of the circuit. It's not a nice line from Matt Fountain at the moment, but all he needs to do is make it round. Can he do it? Can he stick it to that qualifying line now? He finds that wall once again, and now Matt Fountain back into the middle of the circuit. This is very scrappy from Matt Fountain, and Cowley's doing everything he can to try and chase him down as they bring it across the line. Ladies and gentlemen, could this be it? Could this be the spanner in the works for Martin Cowley?
This could change the championship completely.
Well, we thought it would with Farrar. Farrar just took himself out in top 32, so that changes the way the field looks at the moment. Louis Edwards right now is sitting in the paddock with everybody else that he knows, and he is praying to God that Matt Fountain takes the win right now. 2 points in it? Is that what it is? I think there's 2 points in it. Decisions in. Left for Cowley, right for Fountain. Brad, Ben and Ryan. And there you go, it's unanimous. Matt Fountain gets the win and advances through. No need to go to the judges for that one. 4 wheels off track, Sarah, and I'm getting the approval from the judges. Look at Cowley. He is absolutely dejected, arm out the window. He cannot believe what just happened.
It's difficult to even find the words for it, really, because Martin Cowley has worked so hard for this, and he's been doing amazingly. And this is just going to really, really throw a spanner in the works.
Well, this is what I like. I like it when the championship gets absolutely thrown up in the air. But we move it along. Up next, it will be Chris Wright to take on Mike Jackson. We give the thumbs up all round. Chris Wright, right now, will be chasing down Mike Jackson, the higher qualifier in Jackson, to lead. And Jackson before, remember, he made some errors. He's not looking too comfortable himself out there right now as he fires into that wall. Yeah, and a massive change in grip. And look at the way the car reacted. Both guys make huge errors. They straighten massively. Our Pro-Am drivers, not many of our Pro-Am drivers got practice yesterday in the dry, so this is a whole new learning curve to them. They're having to learn this track in the dry once again. Mike Jackson comes through the middle of the circuit. Oh, what a spin! A spin from Mike Jackson as the conditions change. It's very damp there on that diesel zone into the wall.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of water down there. The rest is pretty much dry now, isn't it? But there's still a lot patches of water sat around, and it's really going to throw everyone, because you're doing 2 or 3 clipping points or corners or transitions, and they're all in a certain speed, and you know how much to throw in there. Well, and then all of a sudden,
the initiation threw them straight away. You see, they got into clip 1, they pulled the handbrake, and you see the car dart across the circuit, completely straight-lined it, because these guys didn't realise, they've never driven it in the dry, so they've thrown the car in, and the car has not reacted how it's reacted all day, and that could be the tail of the tape for this weekend. We move it along. We will be now Chris Wright to lead out Mike Jackson. That one will come down to who made the error first. For me, that was Mike Jackson straighten. So he made the 0 first. Could be the end of the weekend for this. Chris Wright to lead, Mike Jackson to give chase, and look at Mike Jackson holding back. A nice initiation though from Chris Wright this time. You can see these guys absolutely flying now as we've almost got a full dry circuit. As Chris Wright gets into it, now Chris Wright goes off track into the runoff area, and Mike Jackson has just been handed a lifeline. Mike Jackson has just been handed a lifeline. And you can see, look how scrappy the track is. Mike Jackson right in front of us making a whole host of errors as he comes into that outer zone. This track has changed massively in the last half hour.
It has, and it's throwing people off. It's going to do it for a little bit longer as well, I think, until the track is a consistent, surface all the way through, really. You're going into one corner and it's dry, the next one is damp, and it's really going to be tricky to keep a consistent run.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, these guys are going to come back to the centre of the circuit to receive their decision. Who is going to take it through? Or will it be a one more time? Will it be 2 10-0s? Will it be a one more time? There we go. Brad, Ben and Ryan slide them left for Jackson, right for Chris Wright. And there we go. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a one more time. Judges, I'm guessing I was right. 2 10-0s either way, and we have to see them one more time. No judges. They're just.
They're still discussing.
They're just having a chat.
think that's got to be the only right call, hasn't it? Both drivers made errors, and you've got to take a little bit into consideration the track conditions now.
Yeah, so yeah, that was one spin from Mike and 4 wheels off for Chris. That's 10-0, 10-0.
Yeah, right. I didn't know. I was just only coming to you because of the 2 straightens after the initiation, the straighten from Mike Jackson when he initiated. That was the only reason. I was just trying to clear it up. Was it that was the 10-0? Was it the spin? That's what I wanted to find out.
No, it was the spin that gave the 10-0. The 2 straightens had dropped him down on points, but it hadn't been enough for us to call the 10-0 at that point.
That's what I was just trying to clear it up. Just trying to, just learning here. Just learning and collecting. So just learning and collecting.
Fair enough.
That's it.
We're moving along to the next battle of the day, and it will be Marcus Clare to take on Josh King. Well, this one, I mean, look, Josh King, he needs to really find his form. Marcus Clare looks like he is absolutely on form this weekend as he flies through. Nice initiation, but these changing weather conditions and the change in track could play a massive part right now. But Clare, he looks absolutely dialed. He drove in the dry yesterday. Oh, but he gets it way wrong. Way wrong does Marcus Clare as he fires that car off. And look at that, Josh King shuts it down and drives the rest of the run. And you know what, I was just going to say, Marcus Clare drove this track yesterday in the dry, and he was absolutely flying. He knows what it's like. He knows how quick it is. Listen to that. He is angry. Yes. That's an angry man in that car.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'll let him look at that. No, you're right. He did drive it all day yesterday in the dry in practice. But what time are we on? Well, he's driven it all day now today in the wet. So you kind of get in that mindset, and you get used to how that is. And there's been a few runs to let this track dry out between this that he's just tried there and his last run.
Yeah.
So the conditions have changed massively. Last run he went out and it was really wet. He was dialed in for that all day, and then all of a sudden he's gone out and it's dry, and it's catching people out.
Well, it certainly has, and it's certainly caught Marcus Clare out. It looks like we are back on the line. We're just going to make sure the wall isn't affected in any kind of way. We're just trying to get our marshal down there to have a quick ganders. I'm going to have to stand up soon. It's that point of the day where I'm going to have to stand up and start bouncing around because we're almost in the final 4, and that's the real business.
That's where we start standing up and getting excited and jumping around in the tower.
That's where we start to see some stuff we haven't seen all weekend. So it does look like our wall is fine and we are ready to rock and roll. So it will be Josh King to lead out Marcus Clare. And is that the chink in the armour for Marcus Clare? Is that the little fall? Is that the fall that we was waiting to see? He looked too good before.
I'm a bit gutted.
He's off the line. It will be King to lead out Clare right now for a spot in the Grade 8. And Josh King doing a very nice job. Marcus Clare in that chase position now starts to hunt down the side of the E36 BMW. He knows he needs to throw everything he has at this to try and beat King, to try and overturn that 10-0. But right about now, it doesn't look like Marcus Clare has anything he can do to try and beat King as King finishes up the run and takes it across the line. So these guys come back to the middle of the circuit to receive their decision. And you know what, for me, even if Marcus Clare is out of competition, what a run, what a drive, unbelievable all weekend. Slide him left for Marcus Clare, slide him right for Josh King, and there we go, unanimous. Josh King gets the win. But ladies and gentlemen, as he makes his way off circuit, please show your appreciation for Marcus Clare. What a drive all day. That guy was absolutely incredible, and you know what? I can't wait to watch him progress and grow into the driver in the BDC because he is a future star.
Yeah, I think you're right. We spotted him yesterday and said, like, let's watch this guy because he has got something.
He certainly has.
Sure. I mean, yeah, okay, he's knocked himself out there, but that is the way it goes.
Pushing hard.
That's not going to be the last we see of him.
No, definitely not. Up next on the line, Luke Barker to take on Paul Cunnington. Now, Cunnington, well, look, fourth place a lot this year. He did get up on the podium at one event. Barker yet to get that podium in the UK, yet to get past top 16 in the UK. Can he do it? Can this be the weekend that Barker has been praying to come? He needs to earn his stripes here in the UK. He's been to Ireland and proven himself, but back home he just can't get a taste of that champagne.
No, he's just getting no luck over here, but these are two drivers that are really, really wanting this as well. You know, they're both in the same position where they can't quite get there.
No, exactly that. And Cunnington, he currently sits 4th in the championship. Well, he knows Ferrari's out.
Yeah.
So if he beats Barker right now and advances through, well, this could be a good weekend for Cunnington. Oh, and a big error there for Luke Barker as he initiates and straightens up massively. A lot of grip in that car. They come flying into outer zone 3. And Luke Barker trying to get away, tags the back of that car on the wall. He's pushed himself offline. Cunnington doing the sensible thing, giving him some room to manoeuvre and making the dives when they count. Now Cunnington's want to go in for the kill, but Barker puts foot to floor and takes the back end of the car off on the wall. Oh, there we go, look at that, absolutely destroyed the back end of that car. It did. Luke Barker, and a very good run there, very nice, but Paul Cunnington didn't really put a lot on, just not the massive gain in proximity that we expected. It gave him some room to manoeuvre.
I think he had no choice there though, didn't he? You know, he could see that Luke was making a couple of errors, he was feeling the pressure, and I think he's just had to give him a little bit of room, otherwise he's going to end up getting caught up with it all.
Exactly that, but now, I mean, Luke Barker, we've seen him chase in the Drift Games National Series. We've seen the videos of that guy chasing the Irish around, Harry Kerr and some of them, to name a few. And we've seen him stick it on the door. He can get on the door when it counts. Can he stick it to the door of Paul Cunnington? Cunnington will know he has to drive away. He knows he didn't gain any proximity, so he's going to have to try and better the gap between them.
Yes.
You know, to try and, you know, move himself forward in competition. We get the thumbs up all round, as we can see Mike Jackson making his way back to the back of the grid there.
I think they're just checking out Luke's car there to make sure it is just the bumper that's come off. There's no other damage that needs to be assessed. I think it looks like we're good to go.
So there we go, hands up, they are ready to rock and roll. Both drivers get the all clear and they are sent off the line. Cunnington to lead out Barker for a spot in the Great 8. And look at this, Barker onto the back bumper. He knows he can't give him any room. Cunnington on an absolute flyer though, nice and wide, absolutely flying right now is Paul Cunnington as they get nice and deep into outer zone 3. Now here comes Barker, starts to make the dive, but he makes a huge error. Barker makes a huge error in the middle of the circuit and has to shut the car down as Paul Cunnington, absolutely flying into the outer zone, puts it on the wall and across the line.
They're going to come around for the decision.
Yeah, they're going to come back now to the middle of the circuit to receive their decision as they pull up, guys. Give them a round of applause. Both these guys put on a show. What went on there for Luke Barker? That car completely shutting down. He stalled it up trying to get onto the door of Cunnington, and look at Cunnington, all smiles all round, and I can hear the Secret Performance Motorsport guys below me and the team Skid Risk cheering there. Look at this, judges want to see a replay of what exactly went down. You see Cunnington on a very nice line. Look at the speed Cunnington carries into outer zone 3. Slows down perfectly, decel zone, that's what he's allowed to do. And there for me, Barker just gets it wrong, shuts the car down. Maybe he broke a drive shaft. Or you know.
Possibly. Or maybe he was carrying quite a lot of speed, wasn't he? So when Cunnington slowed down...
He didn't consider... Look, the little wobble wouldn't have gave you the opportunity. You wouldn't have stopped drifting completely. You would have tried to go again. So
unless it shook him, maybe, I don't know. But like you say, it could be a drive shaft or something.
I think it's a drive shaft. I think it's something much more to that that meets the eye at the moment. So we're waiting to get the decision in for the Barker-Cunnington battle. Do you know what, Cunnington? He's 4th in the championship. If he moves through, he could leapfrog Ferrari and claim some points, especially if Cunnington ends up near the podium. This could be a complete change in the championship before we head to Three Sisters in a few weeks' time, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see. We want to see drivers working hard before we head to the final round in Buxton. You know, concrete and metal-walled ring of steel, where these guys are going to be gladiators. They're going to go head-to-head and fight for a championship. That's what we want to see. We don't want it easy. We don't want it done at the final couple of rounds. Judges talking about this, and
it's great. I mean, even today only, it looks like there's going to be so many changes to the
so many
championship.
changes in
It makes it so interesting, doesn't it?
It certainly does, indeed. So judges still deliberating this one. What are they saying? I mean, we're going to get a word from them once we get the decision in, but it's going to be interesting to find out how they perceive that, how they see that one go down. You see both guys in the car. We got any Luke Barker fans in the house? We got any Paul Cunnington fans in the house?
There might be some just below.
I think there's like one or
tower.
two. Yeah, there's one or two of them around. Who wants to see these guys go one more time? Oh wow, no, the Cunnington fans want it. They want it. They want to see him go through. Well, we're waiting on a decision. Judges still deliberating this one. They're trying to get the replay. They're trying to see what they need to see on the replay. And
either way, this decision is going to be bittersweet for me because both of these drivers are so deserving of a break.
I mean, look, for me, it was clear cut. I was like, look, there was an error from Barker. Look, he stalled the car up. He shut it down. Cunnington was in a decel zone. That's how I see it. I'm not a judge. I'm a commentator.
I would see it like that, but like
decisions in Sarah's. Oh wow! And Cunnington gets the win. Cunnington gets the win and advances through. Judges, you took a little bit of time to deliberate that one. I thought that it was simple. I thought it was easy. Was it as easy as what it was, or obviously not?
Yeah, we just wanted to make doubly sure that Paul didn't put 4 wheels off before Luke shut it down. So obviously the first 0 scored ends the run. So that's what we were trying to look for, but unfortunately with the replay glitching, we just got told that the replay would glitch again. That's how it was recorded. So we wouldn't be able to use that as like a backup or like a reference. So we call it on what we saw, which was Paul, he stalled up but in a slowing zone. He then came out of it. Luke obviously shut down, and that ended the run.
Oh, so there we go. Paul Cunnington getting the win. And yeah, look, I was right again, Sarah. And
you always are, dear.
Sometimes, not always. I'm giving Toby the thumbs up. We're going back to the one more time of Chris Wright and Mike Jackson. This one, well, was a tale of two
halves.
That's the one.
That's the one you're looking for?
Yes, the word I'm looking for. 2 spins, 2 10-0s. Well, this one, can we see a clean battle? Mike Jackson to lead, and Mike Jackson, look, got the car dialed. He's carrying a lot of speed. Big understeer. Oh, wow, he's going to avoid the wall. Just about. Sarah, that was a moment for everybody here.
Everybody just inhaled really quickly there.
Mike Jackson come through out of zone 2 like a bat out of hell, and even Chris Wright, he carried the same sort of speed, and he took a step back and thought, well, mate, you are going way too fast. That was a very, very close one there for Chris Wright. I got the head honcho sitting about 10 foot away from me, and he turned around. He was like, if that's going to happen, I don't want to see what's going to happen there. That was very, very close.
Yeah, I did think we were going to have bits of
Mike Jackson
Jackson's car everywhere, yeah. Luckily not.
Well, I mean, now we've got over that. So if we're back to a 10-0 again on the one more time. So if Chris Wright could not spin, we'd be all right. We'll get someone through to the great eight.
Because we can't one more time.
No, judges have to come to the decision.
So they're going to have to decide on this one, however hard that might be.
Exactly that. We get the thumbs up all round. It will be Chris Wright now to lead out Mike Jackson, well, I mean, he's in that chase position. It's a hard place to be when you're trying to overturn a 10-0. Chris Wright just needs to keep his cool. The 6-out qualifying line of nice initiation, and Chris Wright now found his form. As you can see, Mike Jackson still not looking 100%. A little bit of an error there from Chris Wright as he gets into the wall. No! And a big error from Chris Wright. And not a spin, surely to God, no. Almost contact again as Chris Wright stops drifting. And now reinitiates, gets into the outer zone. And Mike Jackson shuts it down, and, well, I mean, if you wanted a story, that's a story.
Neither driver can clearly handle racing each other. There must be too much pressure.
I mean, there must be some sort of underlying...
There's got to be.
Between these two.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
like an old feud.
I think, I'll tell you what happened, I think it was like, Mike Jackson took Chris Wright's parking spot in the pits the weekend, and he was like, no, I wanted to be near the tree, and he was like, well, no, I wanted to be near the tree, and that happens in the paddock.
Does it really?
Yeah, very like that.
Man.
Well, look, these guys are back on the line. Judges discussing this one. We got any Chris Wright fans in the house? We've got a couple. How about Mike Jackson fans? Oh, we got a lot of Mike Jackson fans. Who wants to see it one more time? I think we could bend the rules a little bit. We've got plenty of time. We could squeeze another one more time into it. You reckon? Yeah. I'm just surmising this one more time. It might be done. It might be one of them going through. It might be a blue car going through to the Great Eight.
How is it done?
Well, judges deliberating this one, and see Ryan Pothecary putting his point across, and then Manu up there putting his point across. All comes down to head judge though, Brad McQueen. Now he has got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He is the head judge, so he ultimately, I mean, if it's a split way one, if it's split between the two judges, if Ben says Chris, if Ryan says Mike, it comes ultimately down
Brad's got
to
to
Brad
then make that
McQueen. Brad
decision.
McQueen has to make that decision. Does he say one more time and you know, give everyone a fair, clean battle, or... I mean, the speed that Mike Jackson come into that initiation in that outer zone, through outer zone 2, was just incredible. How he avoided that wall on the end of that building, I don't even know.
This is what impresses me quite a lot. Is I don't think people
How they
realise
don't
sometimes-
crash
yeah,
so much.
Well, yeah. I mean, how they handle the cars at that speed.
How they handle, yeah. I mean, some of them do handle it at speed, some of them don't.
Well, no.
Some-
But in general,
Yeah,
they
in
can all
general.
handle a car, like especially when it's out of control anyway.
It
Do you know what I
certainly
mean?
is.
That's the way they have to be to drift. But when it's even more beyond their control, like this, look at the replay of Mike.
Oh, so close.
How he missed that wall.
So close.
Sometimes it's luck.
It is luck.
Sometimes it is
I've
driver
just
skill.
remembered, I've just moved my paperwork and I've got a
Oh, yeah.
special birthday shout out to do today. And I nearly forgot all about it, and I was asked by numerous people to do this shout out. And this one goes out to Oliver Evans' dad. We like to call him Old Spice.
Oh.
So happy birthday to Old Spice, 60 years old.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Old Spice. I know he's down here this weekend, obviously supporting his son, drifting. We call him Little Legs Ollie.
Oh.
He's only little. Yeah, put him in your pocket. So yeah, happy birthday to Old Spice. I nearly forgot. I would have got shot, would have hung after the event if I
yeah,
would
we
have got
don't
that
want
one out
that.
there. And look at that, Chris Wright on the radio to his spotters, trying to find out what's going on, trying to find out that information. And look, that's vital. You know, all these guys have got spotters and spotters areas in front of the tower here. We've got a designated spotters area where these guys stand. They watch every single run. They video everything. They time each other. You know, so they can relay the information of the drivers. Mike Jackson, look, super happy inside
how
the car.
happy he
Give it a
is.
smile. Look, it's just nearly smashed my car up, but I'm still happy. Yay. He's not phased. He's not phased at all. So it looks like our judges may have a decision. Ish. They're still
Kinda.
talking about this one. Oh, it looks like it's in. Left for Jackson, right for Wright. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Wright gets the win. Chris Wright gets the win. Judges, I mean, we're going to have to. It took you 2 days to deliberate that one.
Right, so yeah, the main reason for that is we can only run one more time. They both had errors on their second runs. However, we had to deem where on the track who had achieved more based on the spins. So Chris Wright spun, had a straight and an error further around the track, therefore he goes through.
Wow, so look at that. It comes down to who completed more of the circuit drifting than the other driver. And obviously, Mike Jackson spun after outer zone 2, and Chris Wright made it to at least outer zone 4. I mean, look, this is what it comes down
It's
to when
splitting
these
hairs now,
guys...
isn't
Yeah,
it?
of course. We keep it moving, though, and we move it along to the next battle of the day. And it will be Charlie Hume to take on Ian Rutherford. Ian Rutherford sits on the line, and that epic battle with him and Carl Farrar. Well, I mean, look, Rutherford, he's on form. We can tell he's on form already. But Charlie Hume, I've said it already. I've watched him drifting. I watched his Drift Cup video footage. He is Mr. Consistent. He was consistent in practice today and on Friday. Charlie Hume, I mean, could he be too consistent? Could he open the door for Ian Rutherford to get nice and close and personal and force the win?
It's always
That's
a
the
possibility.
danger. That's the
Yes,
danger.
That's it.
So there we go, off the line they come. It's Ian Rutherford to lead out Charlie Hume. Charlie Hume, he's thinking this is his dream weekend. Can he get in a Grade 8 at BDC? Well, he's almost there. All he's got to do is take down Rutherford, but Rutherford is absolutely flying, but way off that qualifying line right now as they get into outer zone 3. Oh, and Rutherford spins! Rutherford spins into outer zone 3. And I mean, can we get a clean battle?
Nope. Apparently not.
Can we just have one? Just one clean battle would be absolutely
I think we had half.
a dream. Half. We had
earlier
half
on.
for one. Yeah, we had half
Does that
for one.
count?
Well, look, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to work that one out. And if you've been watching drifting for long enough, or even the last hour, you would have understood that a spin is a 0 and a 10-0 advantage to your opponent. So Charlie Hume right now is in his first top 16 at BDC with a 10-0 advantage over Ian Rutherford, who is super dangerous today.
His battle.
All Charlie Hume needs to do is be consistent.
Yeah.
He just needs to do the qualifying
This
line.
is what I said earlier.
But he's underpowered in this car. This car isn't the most biggest horsepower car on the grid.
It's
so
not.
he's just going to, well, look, we know he can drive it, we know he's consistent, he just needs to keep his cool, not try and do anything stupid, just stick to that qualifying line, make it round. Rutherford really can't do a lot, he's just going to have to gain proximity, and even that is not going to be enough to win the event. Potentially.
Yes.
Who knows what's going to happen though? They're on the line, they get the thumbs up, the sky starts to go dark again. Could we see a bout of rain before the end of competition? Who knows? They're off the line. Hume to lead in Rutherford right now. Look at Rutherford onto the back bumper. S13 versus S13, and look at Charlie Hume, underpowered but using the momentum, using the talent and the skill, and Rutherford shuts it down, and Charlie Hume, Drift Cup driver, absolutely destroys the Pro-Am competition this weekend. Charlie Hume, the new young gun on the scene, is proving people wrong. Look at that from Charlie Hume.
If that's not a tale of the underdog, what is? That's just brilliant. Brilliant driving. I mean, this is it. This is what I said earlier. You don't have to necessarily do anything over the top or spectacular. Just don't make an error.
Just
let
don't
the
make
other
a
guy
mistake.
make the error.
Exactly that, and that is what Charlie Hume did. I've said to you, he's super consistent. He does the same thing run after run. And look, that Kenda Tyres driver did exactly what he knows what to do. Stick to the qualifying line, put in a run, and let everyone else make the mistakes. There we go, 1 vote for Brad, unanimous. Charlie Hume moves through to the Grade 8 at round 4 here at the British Drift Championship. Ian Rutherford out. Look, there's no need to go to the judges. 2 spins from Rutherford, and Rutherford is angry. Look at that. He knew he could have got to the podium this weekend, Sarah.
He will be over the moon with that. I think anything is going to be a bonus for him, isn't it? He's just going to be chuffed to bits.
Well, there's one more spot left in the Grade 8. And this one is going to be a tough one to split. Because on the line we've got 2 guys that are hungry for a podium, hungry for a result. One guy has got the oracle of UK drifting down there helping him out, Mark Sweeps Buckle. The other guy is in a borrowed car with the guy who owns it helping him out down there. And he's probably just said to him on the radio, do what the hell you want, but get into that Grade 8. Right now on the line it's going to be Dominic Gates to lead out Rob Johnson for a spot in the Grade 8, and that's the final spot in the Grade 8, Sarah. We're going to start to move the pace along ever so slightly now. As soon as we get this Grade 8 battle done, we're going to be as soon as we get this top 16 battle done, we're going to be in the Grade 8, and then things are going to start heating up because it's going to be the final 4. And you know what that means? Those guys get to drive tomorrow with the pros. And you know what the weather forecast is for tomorrow?
Horrendous again, probably.
Dry. 32 degrees, the sun's coming out, it's shorts out.
You're telling fibs, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I did almost believe you for a second.
Yeah, I know, so did.
At
least 4 people in the crowd were like, what, it's going to be dry? Got their iPhone out, went on the weather app and was like, liar.
Ian, you're full of rubbish.
Liar. There's Matt House. Look, everybody.
There he is.
Look at him. Not doing any work.
As usual. No, he's been interviewing people.
He's been a busy guy this weekend. He's probably going down to get a bacon sandwich though, because he's been running around all day. Thumbs up to the camera. So we are just waiting to get our track absolutely spot on before we send these guys. You can see a little bit of contact on the wall there. We're going to get that just realigned with our forklift. And then we're going to be ready to go with the final top 16 Pro-Am battle here at round 4 of the British Drift Championship. Again, before we get the action on the way, I say a huge thank you to our sponsors, because without those guys, Sarah, we wouldn't be allowed to stand in this tower and talk rubbish for hours on end. A massive thank you to Samco Sport, Yellow Speed Racing, Excite Energy, who are in the house. They've got thousands of cans. We've been giving them out all day. Our lovely BDC girls have been walking around handing those out. Simpson Motorsport, OBP Motorsport, Corbeau, Tarmac Sports, Competition Clutch, Slide Motorsport, Hell Performance, M-Tech Brakes, On It, Funk Motorsport and AM Details.
Hell Performance are here as well.
Yeah, Hell Performance are here. Yeah, they've got trade stand down the paddock there. Steve and the guys, absolutely diamonds to deal with. They do some seriously cool bits of kit. And look, why not get down and spend a bit of your pocket money?
Yeah, get some nice shiny things for the car.
For your Corsa?
Not for my car.
For your van?
You don't want to know what my car is.
A van?
Well, I share a van with
Look at Lee Colgate Lawrence's smile.
Oh, look how happy he is all the time.
Always happy, always smiling. So yeah, once again, massive thank you to you guys here in attendance in the grandstands. Make some noise, grandstands! You guys have been awesome all day cheering these guys on. It's been the most horrendous weather and everybody else has been standing around the sides. You guys that were here from 9 a.m. from the beginning of practice, standing in the rain, shivering underneath the trees, trying to keep dry under brollies and plastic bags and cardboard boxes. A huge thank you to you guys coming out and supporting the sport. And look, you're being treated with probably the most exciting, most dangerous round of the British Drift Championship we have seen in a long while. On the line, we are ready to rock and roll. It's going to be Dominic Gates, Diamond Dom, to lead out Rob Johnson. We used to call him the lumberjack. Well, he's had a shave, so not anymore. But the Dominic Gates is going to be looking not to get chopped down right now by Johnson. They're off the line. And Dominic Gates absolutely flying. Look at Johnson. I thought he would have been all over it, but he's giving him some room. Big snappy initiation from Johnson. He's got to be very careful. Johnson's got to be very careful not to get lost here as he transitions into outer zone 3. Dominic Gates looking super comfortable in that borrowed car. He gets on that wide line. Now Johnson starts to hunt him down, starts to find the side of that car. Oh wow, and an early transition from Johnson. He has to back out of it and make a wild dive onto the door. Johnson just defied physics with that transition as they take it across the line.
I didn't know which one to watch. I was like dashing from one to the other. This is it now. We're starting to get down to final fours and
Rob Johnson, that dive from Rob Johnson, he transitioned at the end of the teardrop and still made the transition. How he didn't hit the wall or Dominic Gates, I don't even know. Dominic Gates was absolutely flying though, and I think for me Rob Johnson was left a little bit napping there. He gave him some room and Dominic Gates took it. He flew away, and Johnson now, he's probably sitting there, he's on the radio to Mark Buckle below us, and Buckle's probably saying to him, look, you have to just go 150% here, put the hammer down, get that car in fourth gear and absolutely try and drive away, because Gates was got to look at that out the gate. Rob Johnson does exactly what we wanted him to do. He's flying, and now Dominic Gates needs to play catch up as Johnson gets nice and deep into outer zone 2, and a good transition into 3 will set him up perfectly for the wall. Johnson keeps that car absolutely balanced perfectly. Good qualifying line so far from Johnson, but look at Dominic Gates all over the side of the car. An early transition from Gates, but Gates messes it up. Gates gets it wrong. He gets him caught himself in the middle of the circuit, and Johnson's into the wall. It's all going on.
Right, this year is my first year in drifting, as many people might know by now. I'm loving the journey. I'm thinking I'm learning how it goes, what happens, what to expect. And just when I think I know what's going to happen, that happens.
Let me tell
and
you
then
something.
I'm like, what is drifting? Because this is just blowing my mind.
Let me tell you something. I'm nearly 15 years deep in this game. And every single event I go to, it blows my mind. Because guys change and they adapt, and the cars change and the tyres they use change, and every single event I go to, whether it be in the UK or Europe or the Middle East, everything is always different, and you see something spectacular at every event.
It's like it's not like any other motorsport.
So Dominic Gates, we just see that replay quickly in the background there. Look at that. Johnson was in the wall and he held on to it. Dominic Gates tried the same transition that Rob Johnson did and couldn't make it happen. He had to straighten up. Johnson pulled it off. How he pulled that off, I don't even know, but I think that could be the saving grace for Johnson. I think the saving grace for Johnson was making it stay on angle into that outer zone.
Could well be.
Because that huge straighten in the middle of the track there for Dominic Gates, that could be the end of his weekend. Look at that Johnson smiling in the car. Look, this man in front of you right now, he had the clutch and gearbox out of the car just Friday night. He worked on his own through the night to put a clutch in that car and the gearbox back in to compete. He got here and his radiator fan destroyed itself. One of the guys that drove their road car here said, here, take the rad fan off my road car and go have some fun. That is what it is all about. Adam Charville drove up the road for an hour to get a clutch to bring it back for Rob Johnson.
That is amazing.
This community, the supporters, the fans, the drivers, everybody here are incredible.
It really is.
And it makes me so proud to be involved in the British Drift Championship because everybody is so friendly. There isn't one person in the paddock that I walk past and think, he's not a nice guy to talk to. Everybody is so good and down to earth. And look at Rob Johnson. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Dominic Gates and Rob Johnson. Judges deliberating this one, and this is not a clear-cut decision. This is not as clear-cut as what we thought. And Rob Johnson said to me on the phone last week, he said, I'm not going to smash my car up. I'm not going to damage it this weekend.
Yeah, nobody should ever say that.
It's not going to happen.
No.
It's too late for that. Well, we await a decision to come in. Rob Johnson looks to the judges, puts his hands up. He's like, I don't know what's going on. It's in. Left for Gates, right for Johnson. One more time. Oh, it's a one more time! Judges, we go to you. You couldn't split them. We got to go again.
Yeah, there was a catalogue of errors from both drivers. They were cutting corners, scrappy in both areas. But what we wanted to see was whether or not Dominic Gates had all 4 wheels off the track on the very end of the corner. We can't make that out. It's not fair to call it on that decision. And because of the scrappy runs from them both, we're going to send them one more time.
So there we go, a fair enough decision from our judges. Yeah, couldn't see what they needed to see. You know, look, it's the only way to go. The best decision, send them again, let them have a fair battle, and these guys we know are going to put on a show whatever happens, and that is the one more time battle of Dominic Gates and Rob Johnson, the final battle of our top 16. I'm not sure if these guys are going to go straight at it or if they're going to go to get tyres and refuel and check the cars over. There was some contact with the wall from Johnson, we see that, and Dominic Gates. So we're going to wait to find out. I'm just looking at my track marshal now, Toby, to see what's happening. He's giving me the 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. So just praying that the R-A-I-N doesn't fall.
R-A-I-N.
Yeah.
Well,
because it's getting a bit gloomy again.
It is. The temperature's dropped a little bit again.
By the start line, it's starting to. The clouds are starting to be a funny colour, and it's. I mean, that could mix it up. If we get into the tail end of the Great 8, and yeah.
And it's not like it's not happened before.
It's happened a lot of times, and the BDC, well, it likes a drop of rain. So, just been given the confirmation that these guys are going to go straight back out, as you can see, our little tower up on our shed. Give us a wave for the spotters in the spotters area. So these guys are going to go straight back out for the one more time battle, so we're going to get those gridded back up again and ready to rock and roll. And it will be Dominic Gates to lead and Rob Johnson to give chase. So it does sound like, yeah, I can hear Dominic Gates down there on the start line, just warming up his tyres as he falls up to the grid. Johnson are ready to go. Well, Sarah, we had a bit of a scrappy battle last time. Judges couldn't call it. Hopefully this one a little bit more clear-cut. They've felt each other out. They know the track conditions. They know what they're doing. And here we go. It will be Gates to lead out Johnson. Now, Johnson, he knows he needs to be on the back bumper. He needs to force some pressure here onto the side of Gates, and look at this time, no separation as Johnson jumps onto the back bumper, and a nice initiation there from Dominic Gates. They get into that outer zone. Oh, what a big error! A little straighten there from Dominic Gates as he comes into outside zone 2. But Dominic Gates keeps the pressure applied now as Rob Johnson starts to find the side of that Nissan Skyline, puts the foot down and wobble in the middle of the circuit again. From Dominic Gates, as Dominic Gates gets it wrong and Rob Johnson pulls off that crazy transition, and both guys making mistakes, but for me, Dominic Gates making more errors than Rob Johnson.
Yeah, that's it, and it's all about, you have to be chaseable, don't you? That's it.
Well, this is it. This is what we do qualifying for. It's to find out who has the best lead line. It's to find out who is the most confident lead driver. And Dominic Gates, I mean, he qualified 6th, so technically he should be the best lead driver, but let me tell you, something's changed. The weather, the track, it's dried out massively. It was fine in the wet for Dominic Gates. In the dry, this car might be a little bit of a handful, you know, it might not be playing ball with him. And you can see that, you know, you can see the line he took and where he made those mistakes. As he initiated, he got nice and wide on that wide line, but as he headed towards outside zone 2, he straightened the car up because he knew he was going to go way off track. And that's going to be what the judges will be looking at, that little amount of straightening.
Yeah, he's had to correct to stop him
he's
going
corrected massively, because this is the narrowest point of the circuit. With 2 solid white lines, you drop a wheel over there, although it's gone now, and our track marshal will paint it again. They're off the line. Johnson to lead out Gates for a spot in the Great 8, and a little bit of separation there as Dominic Gates fires that car in. Johnson absolutely flying. Fires big angle at it as he now finds out zone 3. And look at that from Johnson as he gets on the throttle nice and early, not too much slowing down. Gates looks for the side of the S14 though as they come through the middle of the circuit, and this is a lot nicer. It's a nicer lead from Rob Johnson as Dominic Gates now applies the pressure. Gates puts the pressure on, but he makes a big error and comes off in the middle of the circuit as Rob Johnson finishes up the run, and I think that could be the end of it. I think that could be the done deal for Dominic Gates. Too many mistakes in the lead and the chase for Gates. I think it could be the weekend over, but I'm just surmising. I'm just
That's
creating
all we can do from our seat.
creating a story. I'm just creating a story. I love Dominic Gates. I love his driving style, and I love watching this young guy drive. But I think there for me was too many mistakes. And look, you know what? He's in a borrowed car.
Yeah, I mean, you can't knock the guy. He's gelled with that car really, really well. And I don't think I would borrow in someone else's car be as fast as I would normally be.
Exactly that. Decisions in, left for Gates, right for Johnson. Who's going through to the Great Eight? Oh, wow! And Dominic Gates gets the win and advances through judges.
Yeah, it's all stems down to Rob putting 4 wheels off between clip 5 and 6. He literally drove like through like a fully outside of the area or outside of the track there. Dominic stuck with him in his chase all the way to the end. There was a bit right at the end there where Dominic was on the inside of the track, pushed across, 2 wheels off maybe just before the end, but not enough to overturn the 10-0 that Rob already scored.
Well, there you go, because I didn't see the wheels off for Johnson.
Neither did I. There you go.
And look, the judges have got the sunglasses on, and they're seeing stuff.
That's why they're good at their job.
That's what they're paid to do.
Yeah,
What they do.
that's it.
Willie Hannah now on the line to take on Louis Edwards, and this is the first battle of our Great 8. We are moving it forward right now. We are ready to rock and roll. Louis Edwards, look, he's been a bit of a killer this weekend. He's come out of nowhere, second in the championship, slowly crawled his way up there. Now he's up there, he doesn't want to lose it. Willie Hannah, though, look, this guy, he comes out of nowhere at events and absolutely blows the whole thing apart. Could he upset the championship? Well, it looks like he may do, but he's got to get through Louis Edwards first. And Willie Hannah currently 7th or 8th in the championship. So not a lot in it. He might have moved up. I think he's moved up to 7th in the championship right now as he stands. Because so many guys, so many of the top guys have moved out of the championship at the moment. Here we go. Willie Hannah to lead in Louis Edwards. As Louis Edwards using all the momentum and pace in that car he can as he dives straight onto the door as Willie Hannah gets into the outer zone. Now this is where Willie Hannah will come alive. He'll squeeze the accelerator and try and drive away from Louis Edwards, but Louis Edwards isn't scared to make those big dives as Louis Edwards shortcuts the track and dives back onto the door one more time as Willie Hannah takes it to the wall and across the finish line. So here we go, those guys back up to the top end of the track, ready to swap around and do it again. Louis Edwards now, he sits in that lead position, Sarah. Willie Hannah to give chase. Can consistency be the key? Once again, can Louis Edwards take down Willie Hannah? Well, let's find out. They're off the line and ready to go. Edwards to lead out Hannah for a spot in the final 4. Now look at this, nice initiation, but he's very shallow. There's Louis Edwards, but he makes his way out to outer zone 2 and a fast transition back. Hardly any dab of the handbrake, just using that left foot brake, and it slows up Willie Hannah. Willie Hannah has to think about what he's doing there. Oh, and contact with the wall from Louis Edwards almost upsets his line, but he stays in it as Willie Hannah gives him some room to manoeuvre. They dive across the track into that final outer zone and across the line. And really good stuff there from Louis Edwards and Willie Hannah as they come back to the middle of the circuit. Who will be the first driver to make it through to the final 4? And who will be the first driver to get a shot at driving tomorrow with the pros and a shot at the podium? It looks like the decision's in. Slide them left for Hannah, right for Edwards. 1 vote for Hannah. Oh, well, it's going to be one more time. It's going to be one more time. Judges, we go to you. One more time.
Sorry, we did have a bit of a technical issue there. We all did actually go for one more time there.
All
So Willie
time.
put a good lead in, and a little bit shallow between 1 and 2, but Louis, again, no proximity at that point. Starts cutting the track a bit, shallow angle. Gained it in various places through the track, but didn't really stick to Willie for the whole thing. When they switched around, Louis actually put in a decent lead run again, but slightly better than Willie's. But Willie's chase was just a little bit less impressive, and a similar kind of thing. Gained proximity, then lost it. So we called it 6-4, 6-4. So we need to see them again.
Oh, so there we go, Sarah, one more time, and these guys not making it easy this weekend for our judges.
They're absolutely not. It's been close on quite a lot of these battles, but I love hearing the judges' explanations because for me, I like to know what I've missed. What did I miss there? And they tell me that, you know, they explain. People at home might be wondering the same thing. What? I didn't see him do that.
Exactly,
you know?
that. I don't see a lot of stuff. Ben Manuel apparently, earlier on when there was a bit of an incident, Ben Manuel was like, did you not see he drove through there? And I was like, no, didn't see it. Didn't see it. My mind was...
Even though there's only 2 cars, there is still a lot going on at the
There's
same
a lot
time,
going
which
on, yeah.
Sounds
Exactly
a bit
that.
unusual, but there's quite a lot to take in.
Well, look, these guys are back on the line and ready to go. No messing around. Louis Edwards says, yeah, I'm ready for action. And Willie Hannah, he pulled the helmet back down, he done up the strap, and he said, let's go for it. Let's do this. I want to be in that Final Four. I want to drive tomorrow. I want a shot at the podium. Louis Edwards says, look, my championship hangs in the balance with you right now, Hannah. Can you take me down or can I take you down? They're in to the first corner. And Willie Hannah gets nice and deep into outside zone. But look at Louis Edwards as he makes a dive into outer zone 3, locking up the front brake. Look at Louis Edwards. What a guy. What a driver as he pushes onto the side of that R33 Nissan Skyline. As Louis Edwards now once again makes another dive. They get onto the wall. Louis Edwards in the smoke and on the side as they bring it across the line. Safe to say the back end of Willie Hannah's Nissan Skyline is looking a little bit worse for wear.
It is, but he's not the only one this weekend so far. I think there's a lot of missing bumpers and collapsed wings. So there's Mark's just checking it out, make sure he's actually safe to drive. He might even take it off.
Yeah, you can see him there, just giving it a little
wiggle.
A little wiggle, just a little wiggle, just to try and.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm just going to get rid of that out of the way.
That'll do. Don't need that bit. That's not required anymore for Willie Hannah. Yep. That's it. Thumbs up all round. It's just, don't worry about them bits. I've sorted that out for you. On the line, Louis Edwards to lead, Willie Hannah to give chase. Well, look, Louis Edwards, this means the world to him right now. A place in the Final Four will kind of cement his championship and try and overturn Martin Cowley. Martin Cowley watching from the sidelines, hoping that Louis Edwards goes down, but look at Louis Edwards absolutely flies away from Willie Hannah. Willie Hannah has now got a lot to play for. Oh no! Willie Hannah and Louis Edwards, what are you doing to us as Louis Edwards throws it away? And you know what, Sarah? I thought that was a done deal.
Yeah, I did. I bet everybody did. I bet Louis thought that was a done deal.
He was up and gone. He was up and gone. There was no catching him. Willie Hannah, he came off that start line and he must have thought, where has that young kid gone? Where is he gone? Because he had disappeared. He had initiated miles before Willie Hannah had even thought about initiating. And look at Hannah, he knows he's been thrown a lifeline. He's been thrown a lifeline, he's been gifted it, a little rub of the green, and he's applauding Louis Edwards. What a drive from that young man. He just over-calculated that transition and, well, I mean, you just couldn't write it.
You can't.
You just couldn't write it. Decisions in. And there we go. Willie Hannah gets the win, ladies and gentlemen. Willie Hannah gets the win. But I want everybody here to show their appreciation for Louis Edwards. What a guy. What a driver. And no need to go to the judges, Sarah. If you're facing the wrong way, you're not winning the event.
Pretty much. That's kind of rule number 1, isn't it?
Yep.
That is going to really sort of switch up the
That is
championship now.
massively going to mess up the championship. Well, Willie Hannah, he now finds himself in the Final Four. If he jumps onto the podium, if he jumps onto the top step, let me tell you, he's going to climb up from 7th all the way. He is going to gain a lot of points.
Yes.
So this could be a massive turnover in the championship. We move it along to the next battle of the day. It will be Matt Fountain to take on Chris Wright. Chris Wright to chase, Matt Fountain to lead. Matt Fountain, he's been having some fortune recently and he wants to get inside that top 4. But Chris Wright is going to be hunting him down. Chris Wright, both of these guys, former Drift Cup drivers, come absolutely flying. And look at Matt Fountain. Matt Fountain on a perfect lead line. You can see Chris Wright panicking, trying to dial in, trying to gain some proximity. Matt Fountain almost comes to contact with the wall there, and he's on a nice line, just about catches the wheel in that outer box. You can see it barely left, painted on the ground. As Fountain fires into that final outer zone, Chris Wright on the tail end of that Toyota Sora as they come across the line. So there we go, nice clean battle for once. No contact,
once.
no spinning, no one in the wall, no one smashing off of each other.
It almost doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right. It feels like we're cheating a little bit on this event. It feels
That was
like
too easy, that one.
Too easy, that one. Can we go again?
We are going to go again now.
We are going to go again. Of course, it will be Chris Wright to lead this time. It will be Matt Fountain to give chase.
It's all going to come down to this, because Matt's run there was pretty tidy from where I was at.
Matt Fountain's lead was very, very tidy. Chris Wright made a couple of errors, but that was only shortcutting the circuit to gain proximity that he'd lost, and that was because he lost on the initiation. Chris Wright is going to try and drive away, but Matt Fountain will be on the radio to his spotters, and he'll know that he needs to keep up. But he's not doing it. He's not doing what we thought he was going to do. Now Matt Fountain is giving Chris Wright a little bit of room. As Chris Wright fires into outside zone 3, Matt Fountain is going to try and gain some proximity. He's going to try and put the foot down now, dive up onto the side of that 350Z as he makes a last ditch attempt to get on the side. Chris Wright though is on the wall and he is absolutely gone. Well, so these guys are going to come back to the middle of the circuit to receive the decision, and I'm a little bit unsure on that one.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not clear cut. I'm not too clear cut on that one.
I think they both had strong lead runs. But did I see Chris wobble a little bit into clipping point 3? Was that just the way I interpreted it? Was that fine?
Well, decision's in. One vote already for Matt Fountain. And there we go. Matt Fountain gets the win and advances through to the final 4. Judges, we just come to you for a quick analysis.
Across, right.
Yeah, right here.
Turn
So
your tablet off then.
Matt had a very, very good lead run, which gave Chris all the opportunity, but didn't step up and try and take the proximity to him. So he gave the advantage 7-3 to Matt Fountain. On the second run, he had a scrappy chase, and obviously Chris had a better lead run, but it was a 6-4, not enough to overturn the 7-3. So Matt took the win.
So there we go, Matt Fountain getting the win, Sarah, and advancing through, and just 2 more battles to go to fulfil our final 4, and then things really start getting hot. First battle of the order will be Josh King to take on Paul Cunnington, and look, Cunnington's been in this situation before, facing the final 4. He's been in that final 4 before, he knows what it tastes like. King, he hasn't been there for a while.
This is another where you've got 2 drivers that really, really want this.
Exactly that. Here we go, off the line. Look at Cunnington, onto the back bumper he goes. No messing around. This one's going to be close and dangerous right now as Josh King comes firing into that outer zone. You can see Paul Cunnington just dial it off ever so slightly as they fire into outside zone 3. Cunnington on the inside of the track trying to gain some lost ground. Josh King sacrificing outside zone 5 to get away from Cunnington as he gets into the outer zone. Josh King has started to come alive. He's started to feel himself right now, and that is the Josh King we know.
Absolutely. That, at the beginning there, I'm going to ask a technical question now. Might be well within the rules, but people might have noticed what I noticed. As they were coming down the straight when they come out, right, Josh King moved right across. Is he allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Fine, that's okay then.
Because judges said in briefing that the drivers were allowed to do a little weight transfer initiation, so they were allowed to come, halfway across the track, not all the way across, but the chase car can't impede that line, so the chase car has to stay behind at all times.
Yeah, so that's really does make a difference.
It's an unwritten rule, yes. So.
Fine.
But well spotted, Sarah, and you're learning.
Just checking the rules.
We're giving the thumbs up all round here. Paul Cunnington now will lead, and Josh King give chase. King, for me, he looked very strong in that first half of the battle. Cunnington made a few mistakes, shortcutting the circuit here and there to gain that proximity. He lost out. He was on the back bumper on initiation, but well, he lost a lot of ground. Can he gain some ground right now as they fire it in? And look at this from Josh King, straight up onto the side as they come through the centre of the circuit, and Josh King fires down. He's breathing fire down the neck of Paul Cunnington right now as they get into outer zone 4. Look at Josh King. He's like a dog with a bone right now, and he won't let Paul Cunnington get away with this one as they come through the middle of the circuit. King going to make one last dive up onto the door, and they go door and door across the line. Give him a round of applause, Birmingham.
Absolutely unbelievable. That is the Josh King we've been waiting to see again, isn't it?
That's the King I've been waiting to see for quite a while. He's had a little bit of misfortune. Look at that. He's hyped inside the car. Yes. He's had a little bit of misfortune. Things have not gone his way recently, but he is dangerous behind the wheel. And that's the Josh King that I first met, the one I first see. And it's been a long time since we've seen Josh King back on that kind of fall. Paul Cunnington, though, look, don't take anything away from him. He can drive. And
absolutely.
This weekend, I think he was just ever so slightly outpaced there by Josh King.
That's all it comes down to. I mean, Cunnington's done some really, really strong runs to get up into the Great Eight anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're out of the car. Give them a round of applause. Josh King and Paul Cunnington. And Paul Cunnington, look at him. He's saying to him, look, well done. You know, he kind of knows, but who knows? Decision's in. Left for King, right for Cunnington. And there we go. Josh King gets the win and advances through to the final 4 judges. That was a nice battle. That's exactly what we like to see.
Yeah, really, really good there. But Josh actually took an advantage over both runs there. He had a great lead. Paul, a little bit of a scrappy chase. He did gain some proximity from cutting the track though. When they switched it around, Paul put a reasonable lead run in, but Josh really handled it well, stuck with him, transitioned nicely behind him. It was the closest we've seen someone between 1 and 2. Yeah, really good to watch, so well-deserved win there for Josh.
There we go, Josh King taking the win, advancing through to the final 4, and just one more spot awaits. And this one, well, I mean, look, the new young gun, the new guy on the scene, Drift Cup driver Charlie Hume, Mr. Consistent, sits in chase position. He is going to be taking on Dominic Gates, Diamond Dom. He's had a turn of fortune this weekend. The car's working, the borrowed car is working for him, and he's looking good. But look at this, Charlie Hume on the back bumper already. He knows these BDC boys don't mess around, and you have to put foot to floor if you're going to put yourself into the top 4. And Charlie Hume right now looking for the side of that R34 Nissan Skyline, but Dominic Gates on an absolutely perfect lead line at the moment, absolutely flying his Gates. He gets nice and deep into outer zone 6, onto the wall goes Dominic Gates. He sacrifices 7, but he gets 8 and takes the bumper off on the wall across the line. Incredible stuff there from both those guys. Dominic Gates doing a very, very good job in that lead position. Nice tidy line, and Charlie Hume not really putting a foot wrong in the chase, Sarah.
This is it. This is my theory. Especially for
not doing
you.
a whole lot wrong.
No, that's it. Just slow and steady.
Slow and steady, yeah. He's
Not
not,
so
he's
slow,
not,
but,
he's not
you know.
done anything wrong all day. That's the
it.
thing. He's been super consistent, and that's what got him here
Consistent.
in the first place. So let's see how this one goes. They're on the line. They are ready to go. It will be Diamond Dom, Dominic Gates to chase down Charlie Hume, the new man on the block. And we are ready to go. We get the thumbs up all round the tower. This is for the final spot in the final 4. Business after this, it's going to be podium time. But who will make it through? Will it be Charlie Hume or will it be Dominic Gates? And look at Gates on the side already as they fire it in. Kenda tyres on the back end of that S13 of Charlie Hume, and a big error there from Dominic Gates. He's washing around in the middle of the circuit, and Dominic Gates now finds the side of that S13, but a big error from Dominic Gates. He almost comes to a complete stop as Charlie Hume fires through the middle of the circuit, nice and deep into outer zone 6. Back onto the wall goes Charlie Hume as he takes it across the line. Unbelievable.
He's like a machine. He just does a consistent line every single run, and it just pays off.
Certainly does pay off. And look, this guy, a lot of people knew who he was. He's been around for a long time driving. You know, he's not an unfamiliar name in UK drifting. But Charlie Hume hadn't really stamped his authority on competition driving. You go and see him at a practice day, lots of fun. You drive with him, he's always a good time. He's a party time guy. But when it comes to competition driving, he hadn't really shone his light. He hadn't really shown himself. A Drift Cup 2 weeks ago, he showed everyone who he was. Can he take it through to the final 4? It looks like he could. And there we go. Charlie Hume gets the win and advances through to the final 4 here at the British Drift Championship. Dominic Gates out. Judges.
Yeah, it all comes
How about
down.
that?
Sorry, all comes down to Dominic Gates on his chase run there. He sort of bailed out of it. Not sure what happened there. Charlie put in a decent lead run. Dominic, coming into 3 to 4. He sort of stalled up, he straightened up, he then tried to get back in it, straightened up again. At that point it was all over for him, and Charlie took the win.
So there we go, that shut down as he gets into outer zone 4 for Dominic Gates. Just didn't give himself enough room to manoeuvre. He didn't anticipate the lack of speed maybe that Charlie Hume was going to not have there. He slowed down to get that perfect line, and as he was trying to build the speed back up again, slowed Dominic Gates down. Dominic Gates, he's an experienced driver. Unfortunately, just didn't anticipate that and knocked himself out of the battle. But that means we have got our final 4. This is it now. This is the business end of the deal. These next battles are for the final. These are for the steps on the podium. This is what it all comes down to. This is where all the work, all the blood, the sweat, the tears, the money, the hours travelling across the country, this is what it comes down to. For some of these guys, well, this is for the championship. This is to claw points back into your championship.
That's it. It just all comes down to this moment thing. I mean, they must be feeling nervous.
They must be feeling nervous. I know they're feeling nervous. I've been in their situation.
You've been there, haven't you?
I've been in the Final Four before, and I've got back to that start line after getting the car prepped, and you sit in that car and you look down the track and you say, everything I do now affects how my podium sits.
Yeah.
And every single movement, every single thing you do in that car makes an effect on how your weekend has played out. Look, these guys know this. We're over halfway through the season now. This is it. This is where the championship. Well, we thought it was going to be cemented. We thought today. I thought to myself. I said last night. I think Martin Cowley. I think he could do good things today. He was on form all weekend. I think Cowley could, cement his championship and be done this weekend, but wasn't to be. And Louis Edwards, out of nowhere, tore the championship up. Did he claim more points than Cowley this weekend? Did he jump above Cowley? Is he now sitting high on the ladder? Willie Hannah, he was in 7th place in the championship. He only needed, a handful of points to climb himself up in that 3rd, 4th place. Farrar out, top 32. Knocked himself out of competition going too hard into the wall. Look, the championship's changed, Sarah.
You don't get many championships, many types of motorsport that changes this much this quickly, and this is why everybody should get down to watch it, because it's just unpredictable, and that is what makes it so exciting.
Exactly that. It makes this championship can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It can change in a heartbeat, and we see that in a top 32 battle. We see our first place qualifier knock himself out in the top 32 battle. Damien Choppin, 32nd place, made it through to the top 16. He's gained some valuable points. As you can see, live camera down there on the ground, just getting some shots for you guys, and you can see how destroyed these clipping points are. And I can hear some tyres being warmed up in the background, and I can see those distinctive yellow headlights of Willie Hannah's Nissan Skyline appear on a start line. And well, he's going to be taking on Matt Fountain, who really hasn't made a move in the championship of yet, but this could be it. This could be what he needed. This could be the push forward to start driving aggressive and start making a move. On the line, it will be Willie Hannah to lead out Matt Fountain for a spot in the final. Here we go, they're off the line. Hannah to lead out Fountain, and Fountain's never wanted it more. Right now, these guys are hungry, and look at the dive from Fountain, but he's overcalculated it. Hannah puts foot to floor and starts to drive away. Willie Hannah is absolutely flying, but he makes a huge error. There's a huge error coming to out of zone 3. The wipers come on the Toyota Sora. As Willie Hannah stops drifting, he shuts it down, and Matt Fountain taunts him behind. Wow. Incredible stuff. And you know what, for me, that's got to be a mechanical failure. That's got to be a problem with the car for Willie Hannah. That can't have just been anything. Nothing spooked him. That has to have been a drive shaft, a gearbox, anything.
It's got to be. Even if he just misjudged it, he would have
continued.
He would have continued. From what we've seen of him, he would have continued.
If it was a gear change, he would have messed it up. He would have struggled to get it back in A gear and tried to have completed the run. You can see our start line marshal Mount Standard. I'm looking at my marshal in the tower next to me, Toby, and I'm waiting for him to get that information to find out what has exactly happened. As soon as I know, I'll tell you guys here in attendance. Trust me. Will Willie Hannah call a 5-minute rule, or was it just an error? So here we go, I'm getting the information, getting relayed through to me now. Wow, so there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that the engine just shut down, just shut off completely, and he managed to start it again and get going, and now there's nothing wrong with it. Wow.
Well, I hope for his sake it keeps going now.
Well, look, it's a 10-0 advantage to Matt Fountain, and Matt Fountain could find himself a spot in the final right now, off the line. Fountain to lead, Hannah to give chase. Can Hannah defy all odds? Can there be a fault from Fountain? I don't think there can, because he's absolutely flying right now. Matt Fountain in that Wharton Motorsport Toyota Sora is absolutely on form. Nice into outside zone 4. He looks for that qualifying line. Willie Hannah makes another mistake there, as Willie Hannah gets back onto the side of that Sora. And Matt Fountain is absolutely on form right now as he sticks it to the wall and across the line. Well, you know what? We said anything can happen.
And it didn't.
And I think anything just happened. I think the 3rd and 4th place playoff just found one of its first members.
I think it did. I think you're right.
And I don't think it was who everyone expected it to be. We've seen some of these guys go hard this weekend and some of these guys don't deserve the decision. Willie Hanna's car shutting down in that lead run, that was just, you couldn't have wrote it. You couldn't have wrote the story that's unfolded this weekend. Decisions in, left for Hanna, right for Fountain. Who's going to the final? It's unanimous. Matt Fountain gets the win and advances through to the final. And Matt Fountain can't believe it. Look at Willie Hanna, dejected in the car. He just cannot believe mechanical failure has hurt him. And look, nobody wants to see anyone go out like that. Matt Fountain wouldn't even have wanted to take that win like that. He would have wanted to do battle so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it is just, unfortunately, the way it goes sometimes. Luck is not on everyone's side all of the time, is it? It must be so frustrating. I mean, if you throw in loads of power through your drive shaft and you snap a drive shaft, you kind of think, okay, I can understand how that worked.
If the car
Engine
cuts
cut out.
What can you
What's
do?
that about?
Well, look, we're back on the line, and the next battle, it will be Josh King representing Team Fast Star to take on Kenda Tyre's very own Charlie Hume. And well, this, again, is for a spot in the final. Can Josh King do it again? Can he find himself in the final, or will the new man on the block, will he represent and do everybody in Drift Cup proud and step up and get himself a spot in the BDC final? He's already done everyone proud by getting to the top 4.
I'd like to say I've got a good guess, but I haven't.
You don't even know what's going to happen
No,
right now.
we don't
We
know.
are about to find out, though. We're on the line and ready to go. It's going to be Josh King to lead out Charlie Hume for a spot in the final. We're off the line. We're good to go. Mr. Consistent jumps onto the back bumper as Josh King fires into outer zone 1. Now puts the hammer down. But look at Charlie Hume all over the side of the BMW and a good transition back. Josh King gets wild into the outer zone. He's going to be very deep. Josh King holds onto it and sacrifices a little bit of line to keep away from the wall as Charlie Hume now makes another dive up onto the door as they go door on door across the line. Give it up for Charlie Hume and Josh King.
I think that sounds like an exhaust that's come off Josh King's car there.
Potentially, that was quite a big clout with the wall. So
Yes.
potentially, could have took the exhaust down ever so slightly. Charlie Hume, you can see him back up there, no messing around. He's in the zone, and the marshals, you can see him just running around there, just having a quick ganders at the back end of Josh King's car. And he gets the thumbs up and he's ready to go. Charlie Hume scrubs the tyres, pulls up to the start line. He now sits in that lead position. Josh King to give chase. This is it, one spot in the final, one spot in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. Who is going to take it what way? Well, let's find out. They are off the line and they are good to go. Hume to lead out Josh King. And here we go. King wants this bad. Look at him onto the back bumper. But Charlie Hume not messing around this weekend. But look at Josh King hunting down the side of that this time 206 and almost makes contact on transition. Look at Josh King. Unbelievable. How did he hold on to that as they go door to door into the outer zone 5. They transition in the middle of the track. Josh King bumper to bumper with Charlie Hume as he now applies the pressure one more time onto the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Josh King and Charlie Hume.
That was probably the closest, most incredible one I've ever seen, I think. That was absolutely astounding. Here's a question, Ian. Is it Josh's fault that he tapped Hume or not?
Well, look, contact is allowed in the British Drift Championship and in most drifting competitions.
Would you be penalised
A
for
light
that?
rub is fine.
Right.
If it doesn't upset the lead car's line,
Right.
then let's roll with it.
Fair
and do you
enough.
know what? It didn't upset Charlie Hume. Charlie Hume stayed in it. Look at the tyre mark on the door of Charlie Hume's car and on the side skirt from the little nudge from Josh King. Ladies and gentlemen, as they get out of those cars, I want every single person here to make some noise. Decision is in. 1 vote for King. Josh King gets the win and advances through to the final. Incredible stuff. Make some noise, Birmingham. Judges, we throw it to you. That was sensational for a Final Four battle.
That was the best chase run we've witnessed of the day. Hence why he takes the win, because that was a higher advantage than the previous one Charlie had. But yeah, fantastic driving from both drivers, and Josh takes the deserved win.
Well, there we go, Sarah. That is it. That is the Final Four. Done. We know who's going to be in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. We know who's going to be in the final. It's going to be Matt Fountain to take on Josh King in the final. here at round 4 of the British Drift Championship 2019. Taking the 3rd and 4th place playoff, well, it'll be Willie Hanna to take on Charlie Hume. That one could go either way. The final could go either way. No one could have written this script this weekend because none of these guys were really in the fight for it this weekend. One guy is brand new to the championship. He didn't even have a licence until 9 o'clock this morning when he stepped out on the grid. Incredible stuff. And you know what? I've nearly lost my voice already. We've still got 2 more battles to go, and we've got a whole day tomorrow of our pro drivers. And let me tell you something right now. If it is dry tomorrow, like it is today, and you're not here, you are going to miss something so spectacular that you are going to be kicking yourself for the next 5 years.
Yes.
Because we may never return to this. And I know it's been said from other drift championships all around the world, we're never going back, we're never going back. Listen, we are privileged to make a return here to the NEC Centre in Birmingham. We are very, very privileged. And you know what? It's been very difficult, it's been very demanding for everybody, all the members of staff, our owner Matt, it's been very demanding. So we may not come back here again. This may be a one-off, this may be, a second off.
Yes,
but
we have been once before. I'm grateful for being here. It's amazing.
It's a privilege.
Absolutely,
It's
really
a privilege.
is a
We've got the best seat in the house. We have the best seat in the house. Look, if you're around tomorrow and you're thinking, I don't know what to do Sunday, we've got the generic white guy. He's a famous DJ. He's DJing all day tomorrow, pumping out some serious tunes. He's even going to have a little mix tonight while we do the podium and let you guys out in the paddock. We've got bull riding, we have got axe throwing, we've got trade stands, show cars, a food village and an open pits.
Pro Drift.
And also, we've got Pro Drift Academy here with their drift cars, so you can go out in a passenger ride or pay a little bit extra and drive it yourself. Look, Sarah, we couldn't have thrown more at this. We threw everything at this and the kitchen sink.
Absolutely.
This is the event of the year. On the line though, and making their way back up to the start line will be Matt Fountain, and look, he's going to make his way up for the final. We're waiting to get Charlie Hume back in the pits, tyres changed. Willie Hanna will be ready to rock and roll. He'll be making his way back out on circuit in a minute. Look, tickets still available on the gate tomorrow. Make your way down. Look, even if it's raining, regardless, go buy yourself a nice, decent jacket. Make your way down because we see practice from our pros earlier, and even in the wet, they were flying. And look, you come along this weekend, you're going to see a one-off drift car that you're probably never ever going to see ever again, and that's Aston Martin of Sultan Al Qasimi's crushed carbon fibre LSA twin turbo.
It's something
that
special.
Thing is insane.
I had a closer look. That crushed carbon fibre is insane.
Insane.
I've never seen anything.
And you know
like
what?
it.
Sultan is such a nice guy.
He
Come
is.
down, you go and meet him in the paddock. He will let you have a good look around the car, and you can get your hands on it, get a photo of it. That car is insane. Phil Morrison has turned up this weekend with his Toyota Corolla AE86 V8. That thing is a monster. It literally wants to tear the world apart. But not only has he brought that car down to put on show and drift this weekend, he's also brought all the toys from the stable. He's brought his Porsche down.
Yeah.
He's brought his M3 Evo with an S54 in it. He has bought all the toys. So come down, we've got plenty on show this weekend and plenty to come and look at. And like I said, if it's dry tomorrow, well, look, we see our pros in the dry on Friday and they were incredible.
Unreal. I mean, look at the action today with the Pro-Ams. Absolutely unbelievable.
Well, look, let's talk about someone who recently got a very, very, very big deal.
She certainly has.
So yeah, oh no, actually, sorry, we can't. We're going to go to a little interview with Tess Whittock. Unfortunately, we can't. Yeah, Monster Energy driver, claimed Monster Energy status this year. Hats off to her. I know what she's got in the pipeline for next year, and let me tell you something, Tess Whittock, she's not messing around for next year.
No, she is awesome. If you haven't seen her drive, just
incredible.
YouTube it, Google it.
And she's got some good things in the pipeline. But ladies and gentlemen, look, I've been talking all day. I'm still not bored of it. You're probably bored of the sound of my voice. Everyone else in the tower is. But here we go. This is for the third step on the podium. Charlie Hume right now, he didn't even know he was coming to BDC just weeks ago. He finished second place at most of the events he attended, and here he is right now for third step on the podium. Can he take down Willie Hanna? Willie Hanna's done great things before at the BDC. Well, don't count him out of the fight just yet. We are ready to go. NEC, are you ready for the third and fourth place playoff? You're going to have to do better than that for the final. Ladies and gentlemen, we are off the line. We are good to go. It's Willie Hanna to lead out Charlie Hume for the third step on the podium. And look at Hanna. Absolutely flying. 90 degrees, and as he puts foot to floor, Charlie Hume now looks for the side of that Tarmac Sports Nissan Skyline R33. A little bit of separation, but Charlie Hume pedaling that car. You can hear him working it into the wall, trying to get door and door. As Willie Hanna comes absolutely flying through the centre of the circuit. But here comes Charlie Hume as he jumps up onto the side and takes it across the line. Birmingham makes some noise. So there we go, those guys go back to the back of the circuit and back to the start line and are ready to do it all again. And here we go, Charlie Hume sits in the lead position. Willie Hanna to give chase. And this is it for the third step on the podium. Who is going to be standing on the podium spraying a champagne at the end of the day? We're about to find out. They come off the line. It's Hume to lead in Hanna. And look at Willie Hanna, almost contact as Willie Hanna, super aggressive, jumps right up onto the side of that Kenda Tyres S13. Look at Willie Hanna, oh wow! And Willie Hanna gives him a nudge, but he keeps in it. Willie Hanna keeps in it as he gives Charlie Hume a nudge into outer zone 3. Willie Hanna stays with him as they transition in the middle of the circuit. Willie Hanna is hungry for the podium as he dives once again up onto the side of the S13 and across the line. Birmingham makes some noise. Well, Sarah, I mean, that's pretty good, right?
That is what I've come here for. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that is exactly what I've come here for. That was absolutely incredible. Charlie Hume put on a show. Willie Hanna absolutely fearless, and you can see how hungry Willie Hanna is for that podium as he give Charlie Hume a little nudge.
He could very easily have stopped there.
Oh, it
and
could have
just
been
bailed
it.
out,
That
but he
could have
didn't.
been it. So those guys are pulled up. Are we going to get a result here, or are we going to do it at the podium? So all we need to know is, do we have a decision, or is it one more time? We look across to our judges. Judges, do we have a decision?
Yes, we have a decision.
So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision. We're going to take that one to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, hit him with a wall of sound. Give it up for Willie Hanna and Charlie Hume. Putting on a show. And we're going to send those guys back up and we're going to give the decision at the podium for that one. So just a little bit more waiting there, Sarah, just a little bit more waiting. So with that done, you know what that means? Yeah. There's only one more battle left.
This is it. This is it.
And the whole weekend comes down to this. The final battle of the day. It'll be Matt Fountain to take on Josh King. And well, look, both these guys have fought very, very, very hard today.
Yes, it's going to be such a tricky one. I mean, you can't believe that it comes down to not necessarily even 2 runs. Sometimes it just comes down to one of the runs making the decision of who is going to get that first place.
Exactly that. Yeah, look, it can all come down to one run. One run could decide the whole event. So we are just waiting to get those guys to the start line and ready for action.
That battle for third, if that's anything to go by, this one is going to be absolutely unbelievable. So we're just going to wait for these guys to make sure they're ready. We're not going to reveal third place on the podium. We're going to let you guys wait. We're going to let the drivers wait. So we'll get the podium out and we'll have everybody find out together.
Yeah, of course, yeah, we're going to get those guys down in front of the grandstands and give that out, and look, we're almost ready to get this final battle underway. We're just waiting to get the last couple of bits sorted, and then we'll be kicking off our final battle of the day. But don't forget, tomorrow, if you can't make it down, if you are a million miles away from Birmingham, unfortunately, or you're tied up in other ways, there are other options for you. Obviously, you can tune in online here at the live stream at the British Drift Championship, and we will be live from 11:35 tomorrow morning with our Pro Top 24 qualifying. And, well, look, Top 24 qualifying, that means 45 drivers get whittled down to 24. That means that nearly half the grid, Sarah, go home.
It's pressure, isn't it?
It's a lot of pressure.
Much pressure.
And
Everything they put into
as
it.
Dwayne McKeever once says, pressure is for tyres.
That's easy to say when you're not feeling it yourself, I guess.
Exactly that, exactly that.
No, it's quite incredible to see, like you said earlier today, really, the amount of work and effort these guys put in is just untrue, isn't it? Untrue. They kind of dedicate their lives really to getting these cars ready and the seat time and getting themselves comfortable in the cars. So when you come to qualify, it really does count.
Look, everything counts. You can't make one wrong move here at the British Drift Championship anymore, especially in the Pro, even in the Pro-Am class, Pro class especially, top 24, you can't put a foot wrong. You have to be so critically correct with everything you do inside the car, and every decision you make as a driver ultimately affects everybody's weekend, especially all your crew, and the car has to be tip-top. Listen, this sport has moved on and progressed so much from the first ever event that the British Drift Championship held at Teesside Autodrome over 10 years ago in 2008. That was a big moment in UK drifting. When this championship was founded by Mark Buckle and Paul McCallum, it was a huge thing because the UK hadn't seen a championship like this. And from then till today, it's created some of the best drivers that we've seen, from the UK. We've sent some of those drivers around the world. I travel to Europe on a monthly basis. I'm there next weekend for the round 4 of Drift Masters European Championship, where I'm always supporting my boys Matt Carter, Paul Smokey Smith, Steve Baggsy Biaggioni, and of course Martin Richards. Tessa's in the house this weekend. Those guys, they do us proud, and talking about Tessa Whittock, I do believe that Matt had an interview earlier with Tess Whittock, who picked up that Monster Energy deal earlier on this year.
Awesome, let's see.
So I couldn't let this young lady go past us without a very quick interview. First female monster driver.
Yes.
How amazing is that?
It's pretty awesome, and I'm very, very, very lucky to be given this incredible opportunity with Monster, and of course to keep my brain going with Driftworks.
And why aren't you driving this weekend, young lady?
Well, we've had a little bit of a gearbox issue. I went to Norway, went to Gatville, absolutely incredible track and absolutely incredible time, but it was cut short, unfortunately, due to basically blowing my gearbox, which is not great.
Granny shifting.
Oh, come on now! I knew you were...
to get it.
You bugger. Thanks.
So you up to anything else this weekend?
I'm coming to support Team Driftworks, so Rich and Phil are driving, so giving them some good support this weekend, but got the lovely van to keep us going.
This is a very cool pit vehicle.
Thank you. You'll see more of her this year.
Well, I was going to say, it might even be small enough that you can just drive around and sort of get around the rest of it and use it as a golf cart.
Definitely, of course.
And what other projects you got going on? Because I know you're doing some filming at the moment, aren't you? How much can you talk about that?
Well, this little van may be something that you'll be able to see on television very soon. Yeah, coming on televisions near you.
So we'll keep a lookout for you.
Yeah, lovely.
Thank you very much.
No worries,
See you soon.
See you later.
So there we go, our very own Tessa Whittock there. Yeah, picking up that Monster Energy deal, first ever Monster Energy female driver. And look, well deserved. Tessa Whittock, if anyone has put in so much hard work and so much groundwork to get that deal, and supported by Driftworks as well. I know Phil Morrison has helped Tess out no end. Look, you see that girl drive, she is an absolute demon behind the wheel, but beyond that, she's super professional. Such a nice girl, so approachable. I've seen her with fans taking photos with young kids, and everybody loves her. Tess is such a good, patriot for the UK, along with everybody else that this championship has created.
Yeah, she's absolutely awesome. But not only is she, a good patriot for drifting, she's great for women in motorsport as well.
Yeah, exactly.
She's so normal and down to earth, like you say. She's so friendly, and she'll spend as much time as you want chatting about what she's got going on, cars, anything you like really. And she's just, brilliant.
She is very, very brilliant. Yeah, and look, everyone loves Tess. And Martin Richards, she spots for Martin Richards out in Europe, and she gives him a hard time, let me tell you that.
Good.
Good. So we are eagerly awaiting our final two drivers of Matt Fountain and Josh King to make their way back to the track. And believe you me, I know you guys in attendance here, and I just want to again thank you guys for coming out and sitting in the grandstands and standing up in the rain, in the pouring rain for hours on end to watch this, to get to this moment. And look, I know you guys are tired, your feet are tired, your back's tired, you're bored of waiting now, but I promise you, very, very soon, in the next 5 minutes, we will be back out in action here at BDC, and we will have our final battle underway. Obviously, our third and fourth place playoffs, Sarah, done and dusted, one in the books. And listen, one in the books for history, because Charlie Hume, out of nowhere, you know, unseeded class, smashed that. Went to the seeded class, smashed that. Come to BDC, smashed that. Look, the future of UK drifting with people like Charlie Hume involved, and the likes of Louis Edwards and Luke Barker, and you know, and many others in this championship looks bright. You know, and people always say to me when I travel around the world, "What's the UK got good coming up?" And I'm said, "Well, give us a year and we'll show you." Because trust me, we've got some very talented drivers. So it looks like we're almost ready to come to the line. My start line marshal Toby standing next to me. He's ready to rock and roll, and you can see there Willie Hanna just showing you what he's got going on. Just giving you a little glimpse under the hood. So Willie Hanna eagerly awaiting to find out if it was him or Charlie Hume who took the third step on the podium, and it will mean the world to Charlie Hume, but also it will mean the world to Willie Hanna. Willie Hanna will want those points, and he'll want to get that. But ladies and gentlemen, if you can't see it, take a look at the big screen, because right now Josh King has pulled to the line. Josh King, our higher qualifier, sits in that lead position, and here we go. Here's the tail of the tape. BMW versus Toyota, E36 versus Toyota Supra, M50 Turbo versus 1JZ, 650 horsepower versus 500 horsepower. One guy we've yet to see on the podium, one guy, well, he threatens that podium on a regular occurrence. My man Toby's got his thumb up, but before I give him the thumb up to send these cars, Birmingham, are you ready for the final? That's good, it's good. That's not bad.
Good.
I can't see the grandstand because the sheet's blown down. Boss, would you just move that banner so I can just see those guys in the back of there? We can just get. Right, there we go. You can see me now. Birmingham, look, we've still got a couple of minutes left to go before we send the final battle of the weekend, of the day, sorry. Make some noise! That's what I'm talking about, Toby. Let's get this final underway. Send the cars. Josh King to lead. Matt Fountain to give chase. They get the thumbs up from our start line marshal, Malk Sarah. Hold on to your drink because this one could get messy. Here we go. They are off the line. King absolutely storming. He's going to try and drive away from Matt Fountain, and he certainly does. Huge initiation from Josh King. He's flying. Perfect lead line, but look at Matt Fountain. Desperately trying to catch up as King gets into outer zone 3. Matt Fountain lost, not even on the same screen right now, but Josh King sacrifices that outer zone to try and pull away as he gets deep into outer zone 6. King back onto the wall. Fountain desperately trying to claw him in, but Josh King is up and gone.
Wherever Josh King's been hiding.
Where has Josh King been hiding? You tell me.
He's back. Wherever he's been, he's back.
Something happened last night when he went to bed, and all I know is when he woke up this morning, he was a different man. Because that is the Josh King that we love. That's the one that we know all about. The grandstand. I know I've made you do it a couple of times today, but this potentially could be it. The thumb is up from Toby. The final run of the day. Birmingham, make some noise! Toby send the cars. Matt Fountain to lead. Josh King to give chase. BMW versus Toyota on the line. King, well, he was up and gone. Can Matt Fountain do the same, or can Josh King hunt down the side of that Sora? Look at King, hungry for it, as Wharton Motorsport's very own fires it onto the wall. Now Josh King looks for the side of Matt Fountain, but he's gaining that proximity as they transition into outside zone 3. Josh King balances that car perfectly, gets into the outer zone. Matt Fountain nice and deep onto the wall, but look at Josh King right on the back bumper. They transition through the middle of the circuit, and here comes King as he makes a dive up onto the side, and across the line they go. Make some noise, Birmingham! I'm glad that's it.
You're tired now, aren't you?
I'm done. Stick a fork in me, I'm done.
Do you think they've got a decision?
Well, if they haven't, you're doing that final on your own.
Right, okay. You're going to go to sleep now.
I need a stiff drink, that's what I need. they pull up in front of the grandstand. And there's just one all-important question to ask. Judges, do we have a decision?
Yes, we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision. We're going to the podium.
Make some noise for these drivers getting out of their cars. They have done absolutely amazingly this afternoon. We don't know what the result is yet. I think they're both deserved winners.
Yeah, look at that. Just got the all-important piece of paperwork. I'm not going to leave the tower because I don't want to fall down the grassy bank. But ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Josh King and Matt Fountain. What an incredible drive today those guys have had. Unbelievable action. Not also to forget Charlie Hume and Willie Hanna. Those guys put on a show. We're going to be quickly setting up the podium just in front of the big screen. Don't go anywhere. You guys are going to be able to see it all right in front of you in just a couple of moments' time. Sarah, look, we're almost done. Have you had fun?
Fun is not the word, is it really? Like, how do you describe this?
Well, I
is
mean,
this supposed to be work?
But look, don't say that too loud because someone might hear you. Look, yeah, this apparently is a job. I don't know how it works, but I've been getting away with it for the last 5 years, and I tell you what, I'm enjoying myself and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So, look, yeah, I never come to work at the VDC or any other championship in the world and never have a bad day's work. It's always fun. I always enjoy myself because drifting, look, it runs through my veins. I love it. I live and breathe it. And what we see today staples it for me. Pro-Am drivers going door to door. Drift Cup drivers, a guy that probably to most of the paddock and most of the guys in attendance didn't even know until today, stepped up and found himself in the top 4. What a drive. Charlie Hume has literally blown the doors off the competition this weekend and stamped his authority on this championship. Looks like the podium is set up and we are almost ready to go. As soon as I get the thumbs up from the main man, the main honcho next to me, that I can release these results, well, I'm going to let you guys know. So we're just waiting to get that all-important champagne. And don't forget, you guys, if you are watching online, wherever in the world you are, we will be live here back tomorrow with our Pro Top 24 qualifying session at 11:35 GMT. Tune in, me and Sarah will be here. Maybe I'll have a voice, maybe not. Maybe Sarah will be doing more talking tomorrow.
Wow.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
You've shouted yourself silly this
I've
afternoon.
shouted myself out today. So we are just waiting to get the trophies and the champagne over onto the podium. And then we are ready to go. We've got our hard charger to give out, our 3 trophies. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Yeah, so it looks like we are going to throw down to Matt House. He's with Josh King. Josh King just finished up his epic final battle. Matt House, what's Josh got to say for himself?
Well, what an incredible battle, and this has completely changed for you this weekend, obviously in your main car. Obviously having a chat with you yesterday in the practice, and you were saying how different they are, but obviously you seem right at home in this car.
It's just an animal. I love it. It's so easy to drive, like Pro Performance, arms on the front, it just goes where I want it to. I know I've got the extremes, I've used the S3s, and they're just someone else. You just plant your foot, it goes where you want it.
Well, I was going to say, was that a totally different set of tyres that you've been using all day? Because the smoke and the power, you just disappeared.
Well, I had a set of S2s the last battle, but I put them backwards for more grip. Didn't think I was going to get this far, and I had no tyres on wheels, so we had to rush around and get those on S3s. But this morning I had a set of wets, and it's just like driving in the dry on them wets. But they're good. Yeah.
Incredible. Well, absolutely amazing driving today. Let's see some results. Back to the tower for a second and we will get some trophies.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, almost ready to kick off our podium. Just waiting to get the champagne down on the podium. We can't do a podium without champagne, no. Sarah. I mean, like, what kind of? Oh, there we go. We can see it down there now. Matt has got the champagne, and he's going to do the difficult bit, because what normally happens on the podium is a driver forgets how to undo a bottle of champagne. Even if they've done many of them before, they get there and then they forget what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So we have to start it for them. Even though they've just done all that driving all weekend, and
they've done all that hard work, but let's make it easy.
They still forget. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get the podium underway, I'm going to hand out the trophy, the exciting Hard Charger trophy for today. And I think that everybody here will agree with me and Sarah and everybody else who come to this decision that the driver who is going to be taking home the exciting Hard Charger from today, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Louis Edwards. Louis Edwards, if you're around, come down, make your way onto track, come and see Matt House. He has your exciting Hard Charger trophy. An absolutely incredible drive and so well deserved. And guys, are we ready to do the podium? There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, there's Louis Edwards. Give him a round of applause. What a drive from that young man, and so well deserved. So Louis Edwards just going to get his photo taken with his trophy. And I can now give you the most important results of the day. Taking third step on the podium in an incredible drive in a Nissan. Ladies and gentlemen, Birmingham, give it up for Willie Hanna! But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, please raise the roof for the brand new licence, Charlie Hume. What a drive! Charlie Hume, absolutely incredible, but taking third step on the podium is Willie Hanna. That means there is just 2 more steps to go, and this is the big one. Taking first place at round 4 here at the Birmingham NEC 2019. It's Josh King! Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for second place on the podium, Matt Fountain. What a day, what a weekend. Sarah, I am absolutely done. I don't even know what to say. You guys here in attendance have been amazing. Our drivers, our track staff, everybody here, our judges have been phenomenal. Well, look, there is nothing left to say. Ladies and gentlemen, taking first step here is Josh King, followed by Matt Fountain, and third place on the podium, Willie Hanna, your exciting Hard Charger, Louis Edwards, and fourth place overall, Charlie Hume. Guys, we will be back live tomorrow at 11:35. Me and Sarah, we're done. We'll see you tomorrow.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.